What is up, everybody? What is up? Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started here in just a moment. I'm joined by my good friend, Dan Wagner. I'm going to flip over to our webcams. Dan, how you doing?
Hey, Toby. How you doing, man?
Oh, man. So great to see you today.
Thank you. Thank you. You as well. I'm pumped to be here.
I figured while we're letting a few more people get logged in here, I would just say hello to the audience. We have some wonderful people in the crowd today, so excited to see everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in to TooTallToby's 3D CAD Speed Run Tournament, May 1st, 2021 edition. So many old friends in here, so many new people in here as well. Super excited to see everybody. I want to let you guys know that I have this box here behind me. It says, "What is it?" So feel free to put your guesses in the chat if you want to guess what's in this box. Dan, what do you think is in that box?
Kind of looks like a tennis racket or something if I had to guess, because it's kind of elongated.
I like that. I like that. Maybe to be fair, I'll show you the side view here.
The overall shape and size of the box, please.
I think that's a pretty good guess. Let's see if that's right. We'll find out at the end. No prize or anything, just a random box was delivered to my house. I figured I'd ask everybody what they think it is.
Oh, yeah, that's normal. It is the day of the Kentucky Derby. Is it a giant bottle of Kentucky bourbon, maybe?
Oh, another excellent guess, and you definitely can't go wrong there. Yeah. I can say I wish it was.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I wish it was. All right, so my name is Toby Schnarr, certified SolidWorks expert, SolidWorks users group network enthusiast, and I love the SolidWorks community with all my heart. Here with my good friend Dan Wagner, certified SolidWorks expert, and the SolidWorks users group network worldwide manager, global, universal. Dan, it's such an honor to have you here today. How are you?
I'm good, Toby. You know, every time we do this, you add another word to my title, which is I have to keep updating my LinkedIn every time we do this.
I think it's important, universal, global, worldwide. All these things are very important when you're giving yourself a title or giving one of your good friends a title. Guys, let me know how the audio sounds. Let me know how the music sounds in the background. Let me know if anything sounds out of line. Can you hear Dan okay? Can you hear me okay? Smitty in the chat says he thinks it is sunshades for my car.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. I like that.
That's a good guess.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see here. I'm going to flip over to the PowerPoint, I think, so we can get started. I know everybody's anxious to jump into the tournament. Ed says the sound is good on the stream, so I think that's awesome. Thanks a lot for that, Ed. And let me jump over here to our PowerPoint presentation where we can welcome everyone, where we can say hello. Eric says the audio is 5x5. That's awesome. I'll try to check it out as well as we're going through. I know that, or I hope that everything is looking good. I hope that everything is sounding good. I think that, that's all we really need to say, right? Welcome. Let's get going.
I can't believe it here, Toby. The chat is lighting up. You got a lot of people here. This is awesome, man.
Yeah, I see Rue FPV in the chat. What's up, Rue? Love watching your videos. I'm still trying to get my tiny whoop working. I was actually just flying it around the yard the other day, and I can't even fly it to the end of the yard and back without crashing it. So still need to get some practice in for sure. For sure. Well, guys, if you're just tuning in, if you want to guess what is in here, I see all these guesses. Ivan says maybe it's a mini fold-up e-bike. I like that as well. I'll try to make sure I keep an eye on all of these guesses. Feel free to tag me if you're going to be guessing on this thing. That'll help it kind of jump out to my attention, or not, or whatever. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Tell us where you're from in the chat. We want to know where everybody's coming from, how everybody's doing today. Here's how this thing is going to work today. What we're going to do is we're going to take our competitors who throughout the first quarter of 2021, really up until 2 weeks ago, they were competing every week, every Saturday, 1500 GMT. They were trying to earn points by being the first one to take a 2D print and turn it into a 3D model and come up with the mass. And if you did that, you earned a point on this leaderboard. And the top 8 people on this leaderboard are shown here. And we can see kind of a little overview here of what this tournament is going to look like today. So last week we did a drawing. We determined who was going to be paired up against who. It looks like the first round is going to be Ed and Rodrigo. So I'm excited to see what that challenge looks like, what that competition looks like. And basically what this competition is going to look like is that we're going to take 2 players. Like this was actually from our very first tournament last year, Tom and Ed. And we're going to put them together and show them a 2D print. And after they take that 2D print and they screen capture it, they're going to begin drawing it, and they're actually going to be sharing their screens with all of us. So we all get to see how these competitors are doing, what they're thinking about, kind of how they're thinking through this challenge. And I'm sure that Dan and I are going to talk about it a lot as well, and maybe provide our thoughts, because Dan, I know you've done a lot of tech support, a lot of training. I've done a lot of tech support, a lot of training. So I think we're gonna be able to give some really good insights here as to what's going on with this challenge. Then what we're going to see is that one of them is going to go down into the YouTube chat, and they are going to actually enter in the answer. What's kind of cool here is that you can play along with from home if you want. When I'm showing them the print, they're seeing it for the first time, you're seeing it for the first time, you can actually play along with. Now, I don't want you to enter in the answer in the chat, but if you want to exert your dominance, you can certainly go into the chat and say, I got it. And again, if you tag me on that, it'll help it jump to my attention. Abdul says maybe it's a tripod. I think that's a good guess as well. Yeah, maybe a tripod. I like that. All right, so that's pretty much it. I mean, if you are the first person in the chat amongst our competitors, like the first person amongst our competitors that gets it right in the chat is going to earn a win. And if you earn 2 wins, you get to move on to the next bracket in the tournament. We've got 8 runners that are excited to start doing this. So let's go, baby. Let's get into it here with our very first challenge here in the 2021 May 1st TooTallToby speed run, CAD head-to-head, global, worldwide, universal
wow
tournament of champions. And I will say these are truly champions. I mean, Tim Z, who you can see there is in round 1B. He's currently the worldwide Model Mania winner, right?
Very true.
Smitty over in the bracket on the second side, he's won Model Mania twice. Right, these are truly the fastest in the world. Yep. Cam and Ivan, these are guys who have both won this tournament before. Imagine if those two get into the finals.
Yep.
A battle of champions. So this is some real Mortal Kombat action we got going on here, No comment on that one, huh?
It's Toby, when I was watching your live stream last week when you were drawing the names in the hat and making the pairings, and unfortunately I was in the car. I couldn't attend it live. I was in the car. I was listening in, but I was on the edge of my seat, man, like listening to these, like the fact that Cam and Tim got put together, like Cam is the reigning TooTallToby champion.
Yeah.
Right. So seeing these pairings, oh man, I'm pumped. It's going to be awesome.
Well, and I guess we can talk about some of the other drama later. Let's not belabor this any further. Right. All right, guys. So here we go. We can see we got Ed, we got Rodrigo. I'm going to ask these guys to get on deck, ask these guys to get ready. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show them this very first print. It's called Curve Hinge. So here's a print. I'm going to flip this over to full screen. And so I'm going to ask Ed and I'm going to ask Rodrigo to please grab a capture of that. And then you guys can also share your screen. Make sure that you're listening to the audio in the correct channel. So that you guys can, you can hear me and you can hear Dan in the correct channel. Everybody else, just hang out for a second, and we're going to make sure that these guys get the print. These guys are going to start sharing their program so that we can see their program. Most of the competitors today are using SolidWorks, but we actually might have a little surprise. Maybe have a different piece of software that we get to see today. So
Which
you
is
guys,
a reoccurring theme for you, right, Toby?
It really is. Yeah, every tournament we have one person who's using something other than SolidWorks, who's getting in here and mixing it up. So we'll see. Maybe that person will run away with it this year and take the whole championship down. That would be epic. So I just want to confirm that Ed and Rodrigo are on board here, that they can hear me. I'm going to ask you guys to share your screens so that I can see your screens and, give me the signal that you're ready. Hopefully that was enough time for them to capture this. Maybe we can learn a little bit about our competitors while they're getting ready, Dan. So
sounds good.
Ed is joining us here from Colombia, and Rodrigo is joining us from Portugal. And you can see here that Ed is actually an artisan jeweler. So that's kind of a unique background. I think last tournament we had, or 2 tournaments ago, we had Moldulci, who's also like a physical model maker, which was pretty cool to have that in the tournament. And Ed started using AutoCAD in 1999, and then also has some background in Solid Edge. So he's got some background in a couple of different CAD programs. And you can see that Rodrigo, he started using SolidWorks in 2020, and he's currently studying mechanical engineering, and he's traveled to 19 different countries.
That's awesome. That's
So,
cool.
do you know what those countries are, Dan? Can you tell me what they are?
I don't. I'm sorry. I didn't do my research prior to this. But yeah, very, very interesting. Like jewelry, I look at Ed like designing jewelry, and that must be like extremely detailed work. Like very, very finite dimensions, tiny stuff. So I'm interested to see how he approaches this.
Yeah, very cool stuff. So I'm getting the go-ahead from Rodrigo. He's ready, but I'm not seeing Ed yet. And so, Ed, if you're out there, we're just waiting for you to share your screen, and then we're gonna be ready to go. I know the logistics on this thing are a little confusing, it being the first round. So, okay, here we go. Perfect timing there, Ed. So Ed is giving me the signal that he is ready. Rodrigo's giving me the signal that he is ready. Just as a reminder for everybody at home, if you want to, feel free to grab a screen capture of this print, and that way it might make it a little bit easier for you to follow along with what our competitors are doing. But with all that being said, I think we're pretty much ready to go here. So I'm going to flip the screen over so that we can see these guys, and I'm going to give them the countdown to start modeling this, the very first challenge in our tournament. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, Toby, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Here we go. Man, so this is it. Now we're doing it. So I'm just going to grab the part here so that we can all kind of keep an eye on what this part looks like.
Man, Rodrigo got those circles created quickly. I thought Ed was into the sketch first, but look how fast. 2 circles, both dimensioned. I think he's using auto dimension too, Toby.
I love the auto dimension command. It definitely makes a huge difference. So what these guys are going to be doing here is trying to come up with the geometry of this model. We'll see who's able to get it done first. They're both just flying through here. Yep. I love the actually, you know what? I apologize. I have the overlays on the wrong side. Let me just fix that real quick just so that the audience knows who's who. There we go. That should fix it. So we can see Rodrigo's using the dark theme on the right. We see Ed is using the traditional theme on the left there. Rodrigo snapping around with those tangencies in one pass.
And we see they both chose the same profile to begin with. Like they both chose that same side view on this part, which makes sense.
These guys are so much faster than me, man.
I mean, if they're faster than you, then I don't stand a chance.
Wow, yeah, this is impressive for sure. But it looks like maybe hitting a little stumbling block here. Noticing that maybe we're seeing a little bit of turbulence from Rodrigo on the right there with all those contours together. We're going to see if he's going to be able to pull out of that. And Ed on the left just struggling a little bit to get that sketch fully defined. You got to fully define every time.
I was going to say, I think Ed was missing one dimension, but it looks like he locked that one down.
There we go. Yeah, the use of contour selection, I think, is going to be very interesting this tournament. And that's where, instead of making a bunch of individual kind of explicit sketches, the users are actually going through and combining everything into one sketch and then kind of picking and choosing what to use from that sketch. And Ed is just demonstrating masterful use of this, even utilizing the shared sketch technique.
Yep, he's going back and using that same sketch rather than trying to recreate a new one. Just has to make that bridge between those two sections. That's awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah, I love that reusage of the same sketch without having to make a bunch of additionals. I always end up going the long way around and making several different sketches.
It also included the holes in his first sketches. In part modeling, sometimes we tell you not to do that if you want to be able to edit the holes. Sure. But for speed, I mean, that's awesome. He did that right away. Ed, I'm sorry, Rodrigo, but Ed is not far behind. Ed is just rounding off that outside face.
Yeah.
I'm like on a pivot here. I'm going back and forth.
I know. It's so neck and neck, and this is what I love to see in these tournaments. And this is what's happening, when we're doing these live streams every week. But now being able to see it, man, it's like the question. I'm sure the answers are just going to come in boom, boom, one after the other.
Look at this, Toby. And Toby, I think one thing you mentioned is the first round models will be a little different, or quicker, or a little bit faster maybe. And I think it actually adds a lot of suspense to this because it's like rapid fire.
Yeah, for sure.
This is right neck and neck here. This is crazy.
So it does look like Rodrigo came in with an answer here, 3167 grams, and that is the correct answer. And of course, that is a huge shout out to our old friend of the show, 3167. He was our competitor in the first round in our last tournament, and that is going to give Rodrigo the win for this first round. So congratulations, Rodrigo. That's going to give you 1 win so far, but that does not necessarily advance you into the finals or into the next round yet. Huge shout out to our friend 3167, old friend of the show. Great to give him a shout out in this very first round. So,
awesome.
And also he's the one who came up with a lot of the graphics that we saw in the marketing, the thumbnails. Shout out to 3167. Got to give him his props.
Very cool.
Guys, I just bumped up the music just a little bit. Let me know if it's too loud or anything, or if it's distracting. I can turn it back down, but I like having a little bit of music in the background while I'm designing. Good. Everybody give Rodrigo a good game, a GG. Nicely done, Rodrigo. Give Ed a good game as well. Ed got in there. I think he came in pretty soon behind Rodrigo, or at least he had that model done. It looks like it's beautiful on both people's screens. So congratulations to Rodrigo for earning that first win, but it's not over yet because it is indeed the first person to get to 2 wins. So you guys keep your screens shared there. I'm going to jump back to the PowerPoint, and we're going to take a look at the next round here.
Very cool. Yeah, I was going to say that Ed was not far behind. He was just a feature or 2 behind Rodrigo. Very cool.
Yeah, good game to Ed. Good game to Rodrigo. Nicely done. Let's take a look at the next challenge here. So for our next round, we're going to be taking a look at a model called bracket. We see a lot of brackets in the world of mechanical engineering. So let's take a look at this bracket here, and I'm going to share this with everyone. I'm going to ask our competitors to take a screen capture of this bracket. Once you have that screen capture, once you have that, saved or moved off onto your second monitor or whatever it may be, let us know. Oh, I see 3167 is in the chat today. What's up, 3167? Great to see you out there. I wasn't sure if you were going to make it today, but I wanted to give you your props for sure. So what's up, 3167? So, guys, take a look at this print. Make sure you grab a screen capture. If you're following along with at home, it might be helpful to take a screen capture of this as well, so that you can be following right along with us, so you can kind of know what the competitors are looking at, what the challenge is. This one's called bracket. We're going to get into this in just a moment when we start sharing our competitors' screens here. Let's take a look at some more details about our competitors, because we talked about Rodrigo. We talked about the fact that he's been to 19 different countries. How about Ed, though? He started using AutoCAD in 1999, switched over to SolidWorks in 2006. Solid Edge in 2006, using SolidWorks since 2008, which is his favorite of the 3. I think that's an important little note there. And huge shout out to Ed. Became a SolidWorks expert just at the beginning of last month.
I was going to say that he just did that, and that is not an easy thing, man, because a lot of people in this chat probably know you have to go through 4 of the mechanical exams first. Go through sheet metal, weldments, drawings, surfacing, or mold tools, 4 of those, and then take the 4-hour-long CSWE exam. So that's not easy. So impressive stuff. That's cool.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Man, I think that's awesome. And I mean, if you started using AutoCAD back in 1999, that's, you're going on 21, 22 years of CAD, and still crushing it, still getting out there, getting the certifications. That's so awesome. So huge congratulations to Ed. Just a reminder to everybody, if the music's too loud or anything, please let me know. And with that, we're going to get into this next round, which this song sounds very dramatic, so it seems like it's perfect for this next round. All right, guys, I'm going to give you the countdown now in 3, 2, 1, go. So these guys are both agreeing that, everybody's agreeing that when I say go, they're going to start a new document. That way we all kind of start off on the same foot.
Yep.
And let's see what we can get into here. So this model, just a bracket, a corner bracket, right?
Just a bracket.
Pretty straightforward. So it would seem.
We see a slightly different approach, though, now, Toby. In the first example, they both shown the same profile to start with. Now it looks like they might do things a little differently, which is interesting.
Yeah, mixing it up a little bit this time. I like it. It's what we always talk about in Essentials, right? You got to decide on the best starting plane. You got to decide on the best starting profile. And you got to kind of look at that print. And, these guys only have about 30 seconds to look at the print, if that. When we do the tournament, this probably seems like a lifetime for them, because when we do the live streams on Monday nights or on Saturday mornings,
sure.
It's instant. It's as soon as I show the print, you got to go.
Yep.
But this time they have at least a little bit of time to plan it out. But, it's all about starting plane, starting profile. And it's like you said, Dan, it's so interesting that sometimes they start the same, sometimes they start totally different.
It's in terms of interface too, like we'll see that Rodrigo has like the dark theme and maybe a little bit more customized than what you're seeing from Ed, a couple extra toolbars as well. What's that toolbar he has on the far right, Toby? I don't even know that one. Is that
that looks like it's got kind of a amalgamation of.
I was gonna say maybe it's a custom one, maybe it's something he put together.
Yeah, I see measure over there. I see some almost
spell
like
check.
Custom macros. I see DriveWorks at the bottom. Spell check. Yeah.
Is that first one spell check?
It does indeed look like it. Yes.
Toby, I think Rodrigo started over.
Whoa. Full restart.
Full restart. Okay. We'll see
maybe opening up the door for Ed to take over here to take this win.
See. Ed's dealing with a thin feature there though. Okay, so now he's backing out as well. This is interesting, Toby. You would look at a part like this and think that it wouldn't really give you that many challenges, but we'll see. And they're both kind of running through a couple of the same tests here, or same examples.
Right, the same challenges.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And even Ed, I mean, it doesn't look like he's doing a full restart, but I noticed that it looks like a lot of his geometry went away, so maybe it was just an inadvertent hide. I think we've all been there before. You go to start a sketch and it ends up hiding. I like the way looks like both Ed and Rodrigo's crushing it with the S key. He's got his S key really maxed out there, which I love. And it looks like Ed has got a lot going on with the context toolbar, where when you click on something, there it was a second ago, you saw that. It's got a lot of extra little customizations in there too, which is awesome. Yep. Oh, okay. I see what Ed's doing there. That's nice. Nice, essentially like a surface cut, right?
Yeah. It's like okay. And he's gonna flip the side.
Yeah. I love seeing all the different user interfaces, and in this case, even like localized to a different language.
Yep.
So cool.
Ed being in Brazil, is this? You said Ed's in Brazil.
Yep.
So this is either Spanish or Portuguese. And shame on me for not knowing.
Oh man, that's me last week, right? 3167 was
I know. Yeah,
time.
I know.
So what I learned, I'll tell you what I learned is that because Rodrigo is in Portugal, they speak Portuguese, and because Ed is in Brazil, in Colombia, they speak Colombian.
Oh, okay.
But I think in Colombia, I think they actually do speak Spanish, and Portuguese, I think, is like 80+% similar.
Both of these guys are probably screaming right now. They're
exactly. And all their families are like, unsubscribe.
Unbelievable, unsubscribe.
I should not talk about these things. Look at this. They're
unsubscribe.
They're both almost back at the exact same feature in the end. They're both doing that boss up at the top, that circular boss up at the top.
I do see. I was wondering if those bodies are merged at the bottom, but they are. I do see one body in the tree.
Yep. Good
one
call.
Solito. I see one Solito in the tree. So
one Solito.
One solid body.
Look at you.
Yeah. Yeah, I speak Portuguese, Spanish.
Okay. I like it. So this is gonna be very interesting the way this last feature is created. This is actually kind of an interesting feature. I originally had it a little bit more complicated, a few more angles involved, but I was a little bit nervous about how it was going to be handled. So, I love Ed's approach there.
I agree. And JMG in the chat is confirming Ed is Colombian Spanish speaker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
JMG.
Thank you,
Much
JMG.
Love. Yeah. GG JMG.
GG JMG. Ed is so close here, Toby. Yep. He is like right at the finish line.
Doing that final look over, make sure he's got everything.
Yeah, 3167 says, "LOL, Americans." He's not wrong. This is interesting though, because look at Rodrigo. That's a challenging feature there. And
very challenging. That zero thickness can definitely get you. But Rodrigo, I got good news for you. You don't have to worry about finishing it because Ed has gotten the correct answer. 7187 grams. Very nicely done to Ed. Congratulations. Ed is going to lock up the win there. So very nicely done, Ed. So now we're going into round 3 of this first match. First person to win 2 wins. Ed wins that second one. If you guys could, please give Ed a GG in the chat. Very nicely done. And Rodrigo, very nicely done as well. Man, a nail biter right off the bat, Dan. This is what we like to see.
Unbelievable, man.
So I'm gonna switch back to the full screen. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry, I cut you off there.
No, I'm can't wait to see what happens in the third round here.
Yeah, this is intense right off the bat. Who's gonna advance to the next level in this bracket, this heads-up tournament? So let me flip over to the full screen here. I'm gonna show you guys this next print. This one is called Cirque Plate. And here's what the print looks like. I'm gonna ask our competitors to please grab a screen capture of that. Very nicely done to both of our competitors. Man, really going at it here. These guys are going to be grabbing this screen print. Usually what they do is they do like a Windows snipping tool or a print screen. They move it over onto their second monitor, and that way they can look at it while we're talking here. What a crazy matchup, Dan. I guess I should have been expecting this because these guys are all so good.
Yeah, and I agree. And I was watching Rodrigo do that last rib feature, and that's something I know a lot of people have been through. Like you get that, you're like, wait a minute, I need that to merge into both of those faces, and you end up with that zero thickness situation.
The old zero thickness, yeah.
That's tough, man.
It's a tough spot. And those spots, a lot of times, this is where like it's often beneficial to leave your cuts until the end, and that way you can overlap it and let it merge. But I was really happy to see that that's essentially what Ed did, right? He just like blitzed through that by overlapping it. So awesome job. Good job. Good game. I merged those two together and said good gob. So good gob, Ed, and good gob, Rodrigo as well. And good gob 3167 as well. So here we go. Next matchup. Our competitors are letting us know that they're ready for Cirque Plate. If you guys want to follow along with, be sure to grab a screen capture of this. Let me flip over to our competitors here. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Here we go.
And I'm going to just update this current part so that we can all see the correct current part there. There we go. That's what they're building. This plate. A lot of these models have symmetry. So that's always something good to look for when somebody gives you a print. Oh, I like the way that this I know you don't see this yet, Dan. You'll see it in a second, but the 3D part on the overlay is actually transparent. You can see through the holes, and you can see Rodrigo's interface through the holes in the part.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of cool, yeah. Shout out to SolidWorks for having saved that.
I was going to say, you must have saved that out to a PNG with transparency.
You know it.
Pretty awesome.
You know it, my man.
You know it, man. Right off the bat here, Rodrigo's already got a profile sketch going on. Probably going to do a mirror there. Yep, he's cruising. Ed's trying to figure out what to do with this first shape here.
Yep. It's always, whenever you have a part that's symmetric, it's always that kind of decision. Should I just plow through it and just do it all? Or should I just do half of it and then mirror it?
At what point do you use a mirror? Like, that's your big question. When do I mirror?
Right.
We were watching X-Shape, Toby, and we saw that in X-Shape you can turn mirror on and off as needed.
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yes, I love that. I love that kind of stuff.
But here, we got to decide when to use it. It's like a superpower, but you got to decide when to use it.
Right. And it looks like Rodrigo's opting to do the chamfers right in the sketch. That's a little, I don't know if I would do that personally.
Whatever you got to do to get it done fast,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I might in terms of speed, just quick and dirty, get it done.
Yep. See, Rodrigo ran into that issue. We've all run into that issue too, where you try to pick a line and you get the midpoint by accident.
Yep.
So yeah, it's brutal.
Ed's
Patty got through. Yeah. Yep. 7187 was the correct answer in the last one, Patty.
Checking the chat here too.
So Ed's coming through. Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat, but I'm really trying to focus on the stars of the show today, who are the competitors. So, if you really need my attention in the chat, just tag me at TooTallToby. Shout out to Eric Beatty, who's giving me a shout out for those graphics. Thank you very much, Eric. Appreciate it.
Eric also says, with great mirroring comes great responsibility.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, Toby. See, this is where I think, Rodrigo's right here with this feature, but if Ed can get that middle rib part done, I mean, these guys are right at the line here.
Yeah, for sure. And this is kind of interesting too, because this is one of these parts that's in IPS instead of imperial or instead of metric, that definitely throws a lot of people off because most of the world doesn't really use inches, right? Most of the world's just straight millimeters or metric in general.
Well, like 3167 said, silly Americans.
Yes, indeed.
I'm on the edge of my seat with this one, man. Third round, they're both right at the same. They both end up at the same feature, putting this hole through this face, and you have these additional little extra faces on the outsides.
And you can see Rodrigo. This is this spot where having not mirrored it, now he's got to do some math. He's got to figure out,
Did you
what
see what
was
he did
the
there
design
though?
intent.
He did a little quick equation in the box there.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it. Yeah.
Lennart says metric for the win.
Oh yeah. What's up, Leonard? And also we got Mike Van Rogen here from South Africa for the first time. All right. Thanks a lot, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the shout out. And Matthew is here. He says, what did I miss? Matthew, we are at the final of the first round. Neck and neck. These guys have both got one win locked up. You can see up in the top corners. Both Rodrigo and Ed both have one win locked up. They're neck and neck on this final print. They're both basically coming in on the final set of features. Who is going to calculate the mass first? Who is going to be correct?
We're right at the finish line here.
Yeah, this
See,
is
but look at Ed putting the chamfers on now, Toby. Now what do you say about that chamfer comment?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting serious, huh? So I see Rodrigo has answered in the chat. His answer was 0.934. That is the correct answer.
Wow.
That is going to lock up the win for Rodrigo. So congratulations to Rodrigo. I'm going to give you the animated victory cat as well. You did it. You won. You move on to the next round. So congratulations. That is awesome. And Ed, good game. You were right there. You were right. Look at Ed came in with his answer now as well. 0.934. Got it correct as well. That is the correct answer. 0.934. Oh, man. Ed, thank you so much for joining us. Dan, I'm going to switch back to our cameras here, our cameras and the PowerPoint. But, man, what a matchup. That was awesome. So
that's a great first round, man.
Yeah, in the very first round, exactly. So, whoo, man, what a matchup. Great job. So if everybody could please give a GG to Ed, give a GG to Rodrigo. Rodrigo is going to move on here. So let me just, I'm going to flip back to our larger webcams. Going to make sure that I update our bracket to reflect that Rodrigo has locked up the win there. And we got our next competitors. We're going to get them on deck here. It's going to be Tim Z, current Model Mania World Champion, and Cam, who is the current TooTallToby champion. And these guys are going to just make sure that they're ready, make sure that they are on deck. But that does end that match, and I just want to say great job. Everybody give them a GG to both people. Good game to both people. Man, that is awesome. Tom Smith likes the victory cat. I'm glad you like that, Tom. I will give you that one when you win your match against Ivan as well. So good game to everyone. And Dan, what do you think about that one?
I thought it was awesome, and I was also wondering where the victory cat came from. I saw it on YouTube here a moment ago.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you got a chance to see it.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah, that was perfect, Toby. In terms of like a first round, you want that to go. You want a little drama, go all 3 rounds, and I think these first round parts are great selections because it's quick and fast. You're gonna have people working on the same features at the same time. It came down to like Ed at the end did not put the fillets on where Rodrigo sketched the chamfers in, I should say. And we were talking about that, but that comes back to like, oh, Ed needs that extra 15 seconds, 10 seconds maybe to put that feature in.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That's just cool.
That was my advice. Yeah, I'm glad that my advice ended up sabotaging his run. Sorry about that, Ed. My bad, bro. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, we got some new competitors coming in here. Rodrigo has locked up the win for round 1, so he's going to advance to the semifinals. Let's move on now and talk about our next matchup, which is going to be Tim Z versus Cam, current Model Mania World Champion versus the current TooTallToby World Champion. So let's take a look at this matchup here. Tim Z versus Cam, both from the United States. So I know that these guys both speak American, so I got that one at least locked down. This model here is going to be called Stop Bracket, and I'm going to flip over to full screen to give our competitors a chance to grab a copy of this. So we're in full screen now, and now at this point, I'm going to ask our competitors to grab a copy of this. You know, do your Windows snipping tool or your screen capture tool, whatever you're using, and then also share your program. So I can see right now, I think I'm seeing Cam's screen good, and so Tim, if you can share your program as well. Once you get this captured, you can give me a heads up. So hopefully that was enough time for you to capture it. And with that, I'm going to just take a look at some notes about our competitors here. So let's see here. We got Tim Z. He loves modding and designing 3D printers. And we got Cam. And Cam actually stands for Kool-Aid Man.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Do it. All right. So while these guys are letting me know, you know, they're gonna get their screen shared. They're gonna let me know when they're ready, when they have captured the print, when they have when they're ready to start drawing this up. They're gonna let me know. Let me and Dan know. So Cam, we're just making sure that you're ready to go here. All right. Awesome. So these guys are both giving us a heads up that they are ready to go. So let me flip over to our CAD versus CAD screen here. And I'm excited for our competitors to get going here. Let me clear out the wins. Let me make sure that we have the correct competitors on here. Clear out the victory cat as well. And yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty much it. I think we're pretty much ready to go here. So we've got Tim Z on the left, Cam on the right. We are going to be trying to model the following part, which is this part here. Okay, this part here. And 3, 2, 1, go.
There's something I like about this part right off the bat, Toby, that these guys probably don't like is there's no symmetry, or at least it's not symmetric with that main extra feature.
No center line symmetric in this one.
Yeah,
that is true.
Looking at it, you're like, you know, that kind of thing right off the bat frustrates you.
It's always a good thing to look for. I mean, you know, we've talked already a couple of times here. When you're trying to create a model in 3D CAD, you got to ask yourself, what's the starting plane? What's the starting profile? And then you got to start getting into, you know, what's going to be kind of my overall strategy. And if you've got symmetry, well, then you pretty much know that part of your strategy is going to go right down the middle of the part.
Yep.
But, you know, in this case, you don't even know. And I know we've mentioned it a couple times, but I did not realize quite how fast Tim Z was. I mean, we've mentioned that he is currently the Model Mania World Champion, but look at this guy go.
Yeah, he's cruising.
There's a lot of blue in that sketch.
There's a lot of blue in that sketch. I also like how he has like an overlay on top of his SolidWorks. Somehow.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
PAR, shout out to PAR Systems. It's being covered up, unfortunately, by the part that I've got. So.
Oh, really?
Sorry, Tim, to here. I'll give you the appropriate. There we go. I moved that part up a little bit so you can see it.
There you go. Yeah, I agree. Tim is cruising through the sketch, but not yet defined. And Cam is not that far behind,
no,
right?
And I like the way Cam right away picked on an anchor point for the sketch. Like he's right away got black geometry in there, and it's interesting. They both, you know, they're both sketching essentially the same thing.
Yep.
This is totally different from how I would have approached this part.
Yeah, it's basically that lower left view, right, where we're seeing these guys choose to start from.
Right. Yeah, this is very interesting. These guys are masters, you know, and it's like watching the Masters tournament in golf. It's like you don't have any idea what's going on, but as long as there's beer, you're happy.
Oh, man. Is it 12 yet?
Hopefully that's not actually what's going on here.
Woo, Cam, fully defined.
Okay, that's what I like to see. Very nicely done, Cam.
Tim as well, fully defined, going right into a selected contour feature.
Okay.
Which is, you know, we've seen that already, that sharing a sketch among a feature is definitely a fast way to get a model on screen.
Right. It's kind of cool. You know, Tim won Model Mania this year at the World Conference, and getting to see his screen and kind of see his workflow, you can start to see why. I mean, look, if he's taking advantage of the ability to offset the sketch when you're starting the sketch. Right. He's taking advantage of sketch contours. He just knows all the tools.
And they did do it a little differently once they got into the feature itself.
Exactly, yeah.
Different profiles, slightly different, but obviously the same sketch. So.
And that's an interesting feature that, you know, that kind of wraps around. You can see that Cam's working on it now too. That kind of wraps around that boss extrude, that centered boss extrude.
Yep.
So it's very this is fascinating to see how these guys are both handling this feature.
Yeah, so once Cam puts this feature on, what's the next step? That's where my brain's, you're always thinking about that. Once I do this, what's my next step?
How do you get rid of that extra little bit of material?
Yeah. Oh, Cam's going back into the sketch.
And Tim's in a similar bit of a quandary, although it looks like he was able to fill it in there.
Yep.
I like the use of tangent edge phantom on Tim's screen.
Yep. One of my favorite things about these tournaments, Toby, is when something happens and we're like, wait a minute, what did they just do? Where it seems like 4 commands happen at once.
Okay, and it looks like Tim is going for the
mask.
Going for the mask here. So I'm just waiting for it to show up in my YouTube chat. And it looks like Tim Z has dropped into the chat here an answer of 603 grams, and that is the correct answer. So nicely done, Tim Z. Nicely done, Cam, as well. Cam's right there, finishing it up. Looks like he just needs those fillets and to clear out that rib section in between, but holy smokes, that was a fast round.
Yep.
My goodness, nicely done to both of you. Tim Z is going to lock up the win for that one, but wowzers, that was
it's not an easy part, Toby. That again, you stare at that and having to deal with all those tangencies and it's not symmetric. That's not an easy part.
Yeah, there was definitely some trickery going on in that part for sure. So wowzers. All right, well, let me flip back to full screen here and we're going to take a look at the next challenge, and it looks like our next challenge is going to be called Sleeve. So this is T5-12 Sleeve. So here we go in, well, it doesn't really matter. Here we go. Here's your print. So you guys can take a copy of this print. We are not getting started yet. I'm so used to saying that during the live streams, but we're not getting started yet. But go ahead and take a look at that print. And let's take a look at this guy here.
pargeterw says he's already nervous for his round. He says his hands are already shaking.
Yeah, it's intense, man. You know, I saw somebody on Reddit this week who said, who else out there is, thinks that they can just crush these parts? And it's a lot different when you're actually competing, and that's when you start misclicking and you start, you can't find the dimensions and all kinds of crazy stuff goes wrong.
As soon as you're showing the software in front of somebody else, you're fine on your own. You can work on it all day and you feel like you're at home. But as soon as you're doing it in front of someone else, it's completely different.
So just kind of going back to our fun facts about the competitors, Tim, part of what I think has made him so fast with the software is that he does very large machine design projects in SolidWorks. And as you know, Dan, when you're doing large assembly design, you really need to know how to tighten up your features, how to be as efficient as possible and as clean as possible. Yep. And I'm willing to bet that that's definitely playing into his style. And then on the other side, you can see Cam says he's being forced to start learning Creo soon. And then sad/anxious face.
Yeah.
And then Cam also says, feel free to reuse tidbits from last tourney. Oh, sorry, Cam. I'm just like in
just now reading that.
Straight copy and paste mode when I'm putting together these slides. So I don't know if that one was supposed to make it in here. Well, there you go, guys. If you guys want to go back and watch the previous tournament, you can learn a little bit more about that.
This is like Anchorman. You can just put it on the projector. He'll read whatever you say.
Whatever you put on there, I'm going to read. All right, well, with that, I think we're ready. Both of our competitors are giving me the heads up that they are ready, so let me flip over to our competitor's screen here. This is the part that they're going to be building, and 3, 2, 1, go. So we can see Tim has one win locked up. Let's see if Cam adjusts his strategy at all this time around, or if he's just going to chalk that one up to a fluke. He is the current reigning champion of the TooTallToby tournament.
Quite a bunch of symmetry in this part.
Yes, indeed. Centerline symmetric both ways.
This looks like a tablet holder or something. Maybe you put it on your bike to hold your phone.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, same first feature.
Yeah. This is like, I think that this really shows kind of the power of SolidWorks and the consistency of SolidWorks, and maybe it's just parametric modeling in general, but when you have two super high level competitors that are looking at the same print and they both indeed are starting at the same place. It's like, for those of you out there that are watching that are students, this is a puzzle that can be solved. There are, sometimes there's nuances, but sometimes there's like pretty obvious choices. And I think that's what we're seeing here, where it's like, yeah, obviously you're going to put the origin at the center of that circle. It's a perfect anchor point.
There's a nice mirror from Cam. Very quick window select mirror. Window select is awesome, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you have that mirror built right into your context bar, that can save you a lot of time.
I think it's cool when you blow people's minds that you show them there's a difference between left to right and right to left window select.
Oh, yeah.
Some people don't realize that.
The old crossing versus window.
Yeah, like that. See, one thing you notice, and Toby, I think this is going to be a theme all day. We see that Tim chose to put the rounded edges in the sketch. Cam did not, in the fillets. So how does it pay off, right?
Okay, yeah. Does that make it harder to dimension? Does it cause Tim a little bit extra heartache this time around? That's always something I'm thinking about. Like, I always like doing my sketches sharp, kind of like how Cam did, and then going back in later and adding the fillets at the feature level, just because it just makes my sketches a lot easier to manage. But you have to kind of, as you're looking at the print, you have to decide that, like, is this really going to help me at all, or should I just plow through it and add the fillets here? Like, here you can see, look at Tim struggling getting the tangency.
The tangencies, yep. Yeah, and that's the whole, you look at that sketch, look how many relations it has compared to Cam's sketch.
Right.
And that's, if you're doing this in a big model, lots of parts, that problem compounds pretty quickly, like how many extra relations you have.
That's a great point.
But here, we don't care about that. We just got to get it done fast.
I mean, you just got to get it out the door, right? So some days are like that. I've talked about that a lot during the live streams, is that some days it's like, I just need to get this over to the shop before they go home for the weekend.
Yep. But with that said, I'm talking some trash here, but Tim's got the feature created first. So,
Wow. Okay. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
I like it.
It's awesome. All right, Cam's got a feature on screen too.
Love it. All right, looks like Tim's doing kind of the final spin, looking things over, making sure that he's got everything correct.
Cam is not far behind.
And I think we're going to see Tim Z coming in with the answer here. His answer is 3959.9, which rounds up to 3960, and that is correct.
Wow.
So, wow. Good game. My goodness. That was intense. That is going to give Tim the win. Congratulations, Tim. Very nicely done. It's going to give Tim the victory cat as well. So, wowzers. Cam is saying wow on his screen as well. That was fast and furious. So, very nicely done to Tim Z. Very nicely done to Cam. If you guys could please go into the chat and show them some love. Say good game to Tim Z. Say good game to Cam. You guys are awesome, man. And of course, Cam, thank you so much for all you do for the community. You guys might have noticed I'm wearing a Slug Me shirt, which is something that Cam is a big part of. So let me flip back to our cameras here. I'm gonna stop the competitors. I'll take care of that. So let me just stop this guy here, and we're gonna flip back to our cameras. And awesome job to everyone. Flip back to our screens here, Dan.
Blown away, man. I think you already think about these first two rounds, and the folks who are the folks who have won are the folks who are including some of those additional features in the sketches. And we're kind of talking about that as a reoccurring theme here, but like that's true. The interesting thing I think about your tournament here is that your day-to-day modeling practices do not apply, or necessarily do not apply to speed running,
Yeah, I mean, it's a merge, right? You want to get it accurate, but you want it to be you want to get it accurate, but you want to make sure that you're fast too.
You're fast.
You gotta get those parts out the door. So Dan, listen, I have to take a quick bio break.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you to maybe talk a little bit about the history of this next matchup, match 1C. We can see Rodrigo and Tim are gonna be in the semifinals, but up on deck here we've got Ivan and Smitty. Guys, do not share your screens yet. We're going to share them in a minute, but before we do, Dan's going to talk a little bit about the background of this grudge match.
This grudge match. So I didn't get to commentate on this grudge match in the first tournament, unfortunately, but I am looking forward to seeing Ivan take on the great Smitty. I know both these gentlemen, and actually they're both extremely talented SolidWorks users, which is exactly what we want to see here. And one thing I do know is that Ivan, a strong member of the Swuggen community, and Tom, a strong member of the SolidWorks Champions community. So I think it's really interesting to see representatives of those communities, the different aspects of advocacy that we work with at SolidWorks, end up in some of these speed modeling runs, some of these tournaments. And I've also known Smitty for years, and I think that Smitty has been on stage for Model Mania as well. So looking at the bracket, there's so much overlap. You have Model Mania champions, you have previous TooTallToby modeling champions, you have user group leaders, you have SolidWorks champions. So seeing all that overlap and seeing all these folks here, and I feel like we see a lot of the same names as well, which is cool. While Toby's not here, I think this is actually kind of something funny to talk about, but like, I feel like TooTallToby has actually kind of developed his own user group, right? And that's what I do at SolidWorks. I manage the user groups, but this feels like a user group. It's a collection of people that get together to talk about SolidWorks and talk about engineering in general, and kind of rally around the group leader. And in so many ways, I feel like again, Toby is that group leader. So I should kind of come up with a name for it while he's not here. We could all like maybe use it in secret, but he's coming back. All right, everybody be quiet. We'll see what he says.
All right.
Oh, man. Hey, Toby. No, we weren't talking about anything.
Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah. I've been drinking a lot of coffee this morning, getting ready for today. I've been so pumped about today. So
yep.
So let's get into it, guys. We got Ivan and we got Smitty. Dan's giving you the full backstory, so think
some of it. Toby, actually, I talked more about like what Ivan and Smitty have done in the past. Ivan in the Swuggen and Smitty as a SolidWorks champion. And then we talked about how you run your own user group, basically the
TooTallToby
user group.
Oh, so, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I mean, really the history that I was referring to was more like the grudge history of, when we did the first tournament last year, it was Ivan and Smitty in the finals together. And then in December, when we did the second tournament, they got paired up together in round 1C. And then when we did the drawing last week, once again, in round 1C in the same order, it was Ivan and Smitty again. Yeah. So this is a true grudge match.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I mentioned I didn't get to commentate their very first tournament with these guys, but when I was driving last week, going from Cam and Tim getting matched up, and then right into the same bracket with Ivan and Smitty getting matched up, man, that was awesome.
Man, U.S. versus Canada. So Tom speaks American and Ivan speaks Canadian.
Nailed it.
Here we go, guys. This one is called 0506 Hanger. Let me flip this over to full screen so you guys can see this. I'm going to ask you guys to grab a screen capture of this model. I'm going to ask you guys to share your screens and to let me know when you are ready. I'm going to just make sure that our CAD versus CAD is ready to go as well. It's a pretty exciting one here. I'm excited to see what these guys come up with this for this one. And
Ivan put A into the chat, a Canadian A.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
Love it.
So he's speaking Canadian. Yeah.
So right now what's happening is that the competitors are letting me know that they're looking at the print. They're letting me know that they're going to be ready. And this is basically the only time they have to really come up with a game plan. This is it. This like 20, 30 seconds of looking at the print. It gives them a chance to maybe think a little bit about where the starting plane is going to be, where the starting profile is going to be. But that's pretty much it. And once they let me know, we're gonna turn it over to them. But while we're waiting for that, I just want to remind you that Tom Smitty Smith started using SolidWorks back in 1997 and has won Model Mania not once but twice. 2-time World Model Mania champion. And Ivan has eaten a 1,000-year-old duck egg and a pig nose.
Wow.
So, I mean, you be the judge, right? Also a big Oilers fan, and once he won a 3-legged race in school. So this is these are some important facts, I think, towards their CAD modeling prowess. Guys, both of our competitors are showing their screens. Both of our competitors are letting us know that they are ready to go. I'm going to flip over to our CAD versus CAD layout. I'm going to turn off the victory cat, and we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, go.
3167 says, I can't wait for them to comment on Ivan's lack of buttons on his interface.
Well, then let's get right into it. I mean, if you guys might notice something kind of missing from Ivan's screen. No toolbars, no buttons. This guy is able to model this quickly without having any.
Toby, looking at Tom's screen, doesn't the
toolbars.
shading, now looking at Smitty's screen, doesn't the shading look a little different in the middle of the sketch? Or is that just my screen that's doing that?
I mean, I've done that before in large assembly mode where you can adjust the transparency quality. I'd be willing to bet that that's what's going on. Either that or he decided that he loves carbon fiber so much that he just wanted to include carbon fiber in his shading texture.
Yeah, or knowing Smitty, maybe he hacked SolidWorks just to like change what the shading looks like in a contour sketch.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so same general approach here as we've seen before.
Same general approach. How does Ivan get around without any toolbars? I don't get it.
I know, and I don't want to belabor it too much because we've certainly talked about that in the past. To 3167's point, but it is amazing. It is awesome to see that.
It really is. I mean, this is what I love so much about this tournament is just being able to see everybody's user interface. Tom, I guess, feels like he gets a little bit more efficiency by having SolidWorks part in a window instead of having it maxed out. I mean,
I
whatever.
I wasn't going to call attention to that, but yeah, but like, as a tech support person, that I would like out of habit, if I joined Smitty's screen right now, I would maximize that part without even asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because it bothers me. Thank you, Smitty. Wow, he even took the time to click an extra button for us, Toby.
What a guy.
What a guy. Unbelievable. All right, so he's got a fully defined sketch there as well. He's going to go right into a feature. And, this is interesting, but Ivan doesn't have a solid on screen yet. So,
I'm just in awe at these guys.
Ivan does. I'm sorry. That lower part, not shaded in. I can't tell that it's a feature, but he does have that first boss extrude there.
And my production team just reminded me that I have the incorrect overlay for these guys up top. My bad. Jeez, let's switch that over. There we go.
Thank you, production team.
So, and on that note, I also have them on the wrong side. So, I'm going to flip these over, guys, so you guys can tell who's who. Just a real quick swap of the eyes. There you go. Everything is still real time. I just had to swap who's on which side. So we can see here, Ivan on the left, Smitty on the right. Ivan with no toolbars, Smitty with his part model maximized in SolidWorks now.
Yeah. And Ivan is choosing to do a lot more inside that sketch first, choosing to include a lot more in this sketch than Smitty.
And this really is the running theme of today, Dan. You had mentioned, I know you've mentioned this a couple of times now, but it's like, which way is better? Maybe we're going to truly find this out today.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's been more. More is better. More in the sketch is better today. But I don't know that applies to everybody.
I don't know if more is always better. That's right.
Right, not always better. Today it is.
Today we have the empirical data.
In the grudge match, we'll see.
This really is the most epic grudge match of educational esports in the CAD division.
It really is.
Hands down.
And maybe it's just the way Tom's screen is coming into, but that shading looks different than any shading I've ever seen. Maybe it's just how the zoom.
I like it. Yeah, I really like it. It does remind me of carbon fiber, and I know that he's a huge fan
of carbon fiber.
Who isn't really?
Who isn't?
Yeah. So we can see that Ivan, I think we've all been in this spot before, right? Where you model half of the model and then you need to make a circular boss and you just end up making it full circle because like you're so used to making things full circle.
Yep.
So I'm curious what he does at this point. Like how does he now handle the mirror at that, at that junction? I've definitely been in this. Oh, okay. He handles it like that.
Wow.
My goodness.
Killed it. Nice, Ivan.
Wow.
He was like, take that.
Yeah. How about if I just
I was
do
gonna
this?
say, man, I don't know. You could cut that boss off of the surface and
Right.
then mirror the body and then merge the boss back. Oh, nope, I'll just do this.
Yeah. Look at Tom Smith right there behind him. Wow. Just adding in those final fillets. And let's see here. We have an answer from Ivan. And the answer is 2.042 pounds or 2.04 pounds. That is the correct answer. Very
Good job,
nicely
Ivan.
done, Ivan. Very nicely done with no toolbars. Ivan gets the first win of the grudge matchup between Ivan and Tom. Nicely done. Tom right behind him, hot on his heels as always. What a close matchup. And I don't mean always right behind him. I mean, you guys are always neck and neck. Sometimes Tom is right in the lead. Sometimes Ivan is right in the lead. This is, I got to admit, Dan, like what you said, when it came to doing this drawing, having these guys paired up again, I was pretty excited,
Yep.
This is like this in the first tournament, these two guys being in the finals was so epic, and then being able to see that again in the second tournament, and now once again in the third tournament, I'm like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, and looking at the chat, right? Tom comes in with the same within spec, right?
Oh yeah,
Very, very shortly after Ivan.
Yep,
So.
exactly. 2.04 pounds. 2.04 pounds is the correct answer, and we just round to whatever the decimal is it's called out in the print. So with that being said, congratulations to Ivan. Everybody give Ivan a GG in the chat.
GG, Ivan. GG.
Everybody give Smitty a GG in the chat. I'm going to flip back over to full screen here, and we're going to take a look at the next round. So our next challenge for these guys is called Star 1. So I'm going to ask you guys to please grab a screen capture of this, and once you grab that screen capture, you can give me the signal. This is 2 in a row in IPS. Man, sorry guys, you got the bad drawing here. As far as I pretty much randomized the order of these prints in the first round, so this was the random drawing. Unfortunately, you guys got IPS, and I don't know what the third one's going to be. So while these guys are grabbing a screen capture of that print, let's learn just a little bit more about our competitors. So you can see here, Tom is a beginning guitar player and also a SolidWorks champion. Dan, what does that mean when he says he's a SolidWorks champion?
This is one of the things I talked about when you took a break there, Toby, is that Tom participates in one of our advocacy programs, which is SolidWorks Champions. So, a lot of people I think are familiar with user groups, but they might not be, maybe you don't want to run a user group or go attend a group. There's other ways to get involved, and SolidWorks Champions is one of them.
Okay.
So it's a chance again to be a little closer to SolidWorks and be a little tighter with the community here. And it's a chance to get some SolidWorks swag and kind of be first to know information. Work with Sean O'Neill here at SolidWorks, so it's a pretty cool opportunity.
It's kind of like a recognition of people that are like evangelizing SolidWorks, right? They're not necessarily user group leaders, but they're out there, just like I said, evangelizing SolidWorks. I love it. I think it's so important we have that recognition in the community.
Spreading the good word, man.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, both of our competitors are letting me know that they are ready, so I'm going to flip over to our CAD vs. CAD screen. Here's what the part looks like, and you guys can start modeling in 3, 2, 1, go.
I feel like this is going to be a lightning fast one, Toby. I don't know.
We're going to see. This is, as always, some of these parts, they seem like they're so easy, and yet they have these little hiccups sometimes.
Yep.
But what an action-packed first hour, I got to tell you. I'm so thankful to all of our competitors. Good game to everybody who has been competing here so far. Good game to Ed, to Rodrigo, to Tim Z, to Cam, and of course to Ivan and Smitty. We got one more matchup coming up after this one.
I'm gonna go ahead and for the audience's sake request that Smitty maximizes this part. Just kidding, Smitty. Don't do it. Don't take the extra time.
I'll do it. You're good. Yeah. So I like the way Smitty's just going for it all in one layout here again. I just think it's so...
he did it. Thanks, Smitty.
There you go. All in one layout. I love it. Making sure that he's got everything in there exactly where he needs it for this model. Smitty was, like I said, he's won Model Mania not once but twice. There's not that many people out there that can say that they've done that.
Yep.
And man, he is just cruising through this model. But just that use of laying out the sketch and being able to reuse that, like, look how powerful that is. Have it all in one spot and just be able to keep reusing that same sketch.
And what he just did there is awesome, because I was looking at this print worried about that inlay there, that shallow face.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one part about this. Okay, that's going to take one extra step, but he's taking care of that beforehand, prior to any patterns or mirrors or anything like that.
Look at that, having that curved face there for the pattern. My goodness.
See, and that's kind of what, if we look at Ivan,
Oh,
that's kind
we got
of
a
what
little, we got a little error here on the pattern.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
And Ivan's working on, I think, that countersink, right?
Ooh, that was smooth. Changed it from a feature pattern to a body pattern.
I don't know, Toby.
So close right now.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm looking at Ivan. He's got the inlay. He's got the countersink.
Hitting an error as well. Both of our competitors are struggling with that pattern.
Oh, there's Tom, though. There's Smitty. It's interesting because he cleaned up all that interior geometry just by kind of going right over top of it.
Surprised we haven't seen any delete faces yet this
tournament.
But I think it's coming. You know it's coming.
Yeah. I thought it was going to happen in the third round of Ed and Rodrigo, but it didn't happen.
So if we look at the chat, we can see both of our competitors have entered an answer in the chat. And for both of our competitors, that answer is correct. In fact, I'm going to adjust the overlay here of the chat so that I can move this down so everybody who's watching can see it. Oh, it's still coming through on this one. Okay. Misunderstood what was happening with that overlay. So we can see that both of our competitors have entered an answer. Both of our competitors have entered the correct answer. But it was indeed Ivan who came in with the correct answer first. So Ivan is going to win this matchup. And if everybody could, please give a good game to Tom, to Smitty. Tom, thank you so much for being part of the tournament once again. He's been a part of the tournament every time. He's a regular supporter of the TooTallToby channel. I've interviewed Tom on the show. If you want to go back and look at that old interview with me and Tom, a super interesting guy, a huge member and contributor to the SolidWorks community. Yep. So thank you so much, Tom, for everything you do.
Awesome, dude.
And really, I could say all the same things about Ivan. Another super user, super active in the user groups, super active at the World Conference, and a great guy all around. So congratulations to Ivan as well. GG to both of our competitors. And wowzers, what a matchup. I'm going to flip on back to our full screen here in just a moment. Let me just make sure that I update our bracket. Wow, that was so awesome. Congratulations to Ivan for locking down that win. And just give me 1 second here. We got Victory Cat entertaining everybody. So I think that's what really matters here, Dan. As long as Victory Cat is up there on the screen, yeah, we're good to go.
I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, and again, this is like where these things don't apply in the real world, but watching Smitty pattern that initial body, they're kind of overlapping in a super messy way, right? Like probably wouldn't do that in normal modeling circumstances, but then just merges over top of them with a single solid body and ends up coming in like just after.
So good.
Yeah.
So
that's
good.
Crazy.
Man. So well played to both of our competitors. Congratulations. And that is going to allow Ivan to move on to the semifinals. And we're going to find out next who Ivan is going against, if he's going against pargeterw or going against GERBEN. So we are going to have them make sure that they are ready. And GERBEN taught me how to say his name correctly before, but I wasn't able to quite get it correct. So just hold off for 1 second, guys, and we're going to have you share your screens in just a moment. But for now, let's take a look. We got pargeterw from the UK, and we've got GERBEN from the Netherlands. So Netherlandish, I guess, would be what he speaks.
I'm not touching this one this time.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So this model is going to be called Angle Jig. I'm going to flip this over to full screen so that our competitors can grab a copy of this model. Again, just an epic match between Tom and Ivan. Congratulations to both of you. And if you guys could please grab a screen capture of this. So this one is going to go out to pargeterw and to GERBEN.
So pargeterw says Dutch, and I assume he's saying GERBEN is Dutch?
Dutch. Got it. Okay.
And Toby, you have the hat that mentions being Dutch, don't you?
Yes, if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. That's right.
You ain't Dutch, you ain't much.
Shout out to my good friend Mandy, who gave me that hat. Yeah, Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful hat and a wonderful saying, and really just like a creed. Really just a creed to live by.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give these guys a chance to grab this on their screens, and once they have this, they're going to let me know that they are ready to go. And in the meantime, Dan, maybe you can just talk through a little bit of background about our competitors.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks. So, I mean, already, right? If we're thinking about this this matchup and looking at the different skills of the two folks, this round is the first time we're going to see a different CAD system, right? Or a non-SolidWorks CAD system in the matchup, which is interesting. And Toby, I know that's been a theme for your tournaments as well. Typically, there's at least one person that's not using SolidWorks, which is so interesting. So GERBEN here, I'm sure can use other CAD systems or just kind of has general CAD system skills, but we know that so much of this stuff is universal, like sketching and making features and putting assemblies together, making drawings. Like, I think at some point you speak a common language, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this ends up looking like. I mean, we got pargeterw in SolidWorks. We got GERBEN in Inventor. A lot of people out there maybe have never even seen Inventor, so this will be your first chance to see kind of what the user interface looks like. So,
pargeterw says he was once tweeted about by Shakira too. I mean, that's amazing.
That's pretty intense. I mean, of all the fun facts of all the competitors, that's the one that I think we really need the biggest backstory on. So we're going to have to learn a little bit more about that. And we'll talk more about our competitors in just a moment. But for now, I think they're both ready. They're both giving me the go-ahead that they're ready. So let's flip over to see their screens here. We can see pargeterw on the left. We can see GERBEN on the right. You guys both look like you're ready to go. So let's do this in 3, 2, 1, go. So here we go. We have the old angle jig part. Good part here, good practice model for any student, anybody who's trying to get used to SolidWorks, to learn a little bit more about SolidWorks. This is definitely a part that you could take a look at.
Yeah, for me, like looking at Inventor and trying to know the workflow, I definitely, obviously my knowledge there would be less than it is for SolidWorks, but that language is universal. Like seeing an edit dimension box come up and seeing features get created on screen.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
It's much of the same
and
stuff.
What's going to be the starting plane? What's going to be the starting profile, right?
Right.
For me, it's usually all about trying to figure out, what I can do to capture the biggest footprint, or the most uniform footprint. And, you can see that's exactly what GERBEN did. And man, he just crushed through that first feature.
He cruised through that first feature. Parge though is this is a theme. He's focusing on getting this hole with that cutout in the first sketch. Will that pay off? Will that extra time there pay off? I think in a model tournament like this, it does seem to pay off to try and pack more into one sketch.
I love how you're sticking to that line.
Yeah, I mean, that's my thing. I'm just going to run with that all day.
I am totally the opposite, as you know. You and I have worked together long enough, and you've seen enough of my content. I'm all about have many different features and have each of them be super efficient and minimal. You know, so it's so interesting to see kind of the tables turn a little bit on that strategy.
Yeah.
But we can see it looks like GERBEN was able to get that first feature in place, but now it's almost like he's struggling with the second feature just from a planning point of view. Like, what are you going to do with that little wedge that you've drawn in there now?
Yep. That wedge for me, you need to start somewhere, right? Like you're thinking about, okay, I need a face or a plane or something to begin with.
And meanwhile, pargeterw, already created the L shape, and has also created the little slotted hole there. Let's see if that pays off. Let's see if he's able to get that kind of angled shape in place.
Yeah, in tech support, I agree with you, Toby. Say never, be efficient. Make your sketches clean and simple, and you want this model to be stable, and you want it to rebuild easily if you make a change. But here in a speed run CAD modeling tournament, not all those rules apply. You know?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I noticed that with what Ed did in the first round when he created that rib, and you know, instead of doing it like with a rib where it auto extends and kind of fills in around that geometry, he was able to just to get in there and kind of overlap it. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm watching GERBEN here.
Yep.
And that was such a cool move that he did there to get the end of that tombstone, filling it off. So very nicely done there, GERBEN, and that's going to definitely put him in a good spot. But pargeterw is hot on his heels, coming in here trying to resolve some of these final features.
Yeah, how do you get that face rounded there? If you're pargeterw, yeah, how do you oh my gosh, I cannot believe full round work there. I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to say it. But oh my gosh, I can't believe full round work there.
Very nicely done, pargeterw. That was epic. Wowzers.
I didn't think full round could pull that off, man. That was pretty cool.
So I see in the chat that GERBEN has entered his answer. The answer that he has entered is 4.95 pounds, and that is correct.
Wow.
So GERBEN, very nicely done.
GERBEN, very nice.
Wowzers, very, very nicely done. Cool view of AutoCAD Inventor too.
Yep.
I have not had too much experience with that program. As you know, I'm pretty much SolidWorks through and through. So pretty cool to see how someone uses a different CAD program here. And pargeterw, again, man, that was like feature of the day, the way that you worked that.
Full round, yeah.
Yeah, the way you worked that in there. And a huge shout out to Will Nicole showing up with some super chat. So thank you very much for that, Will. Appreciate that. I wish I had a better overlay for you, but I'll tell you what, I'll give Will the victory cat. So Will Nicole, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. If you guys want me to say anything out loud, feel free to drop it in the super chat. I will read whatever you put in the super chat as long as it's not vulgar. You like that qualifier, Dan?
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I was staring, that basically came down to that last feature. And in my mind, again, being an announcer, I don't want to say full round. We don't want to give that idea out there, right? But I also thought there's no way full round could work. Will it be able to wrap into that outside face? Very awesome, man. That was a great finish.
Yeah, that was I was definitely on the edge of my seat on that one for sure. So Let me flip back over to our overlays here, to our PowerPoint. Let's talk about this next matchup here. And so this next one is going to be called T-0509 Link. So here's what the print looks like, guys. If you guys want to take a look at that and get yourselves ready to create that model. And I'm gonna go make sure that I'm ready as well. And I think in just a moment we're gonna learn a little bit more about our competitors here. So this is definitely really what the spirit of this season 3 was for the tournament, right? We decided that we wanted to have season 3 take place at a time that was a little bit more European time zone friendly. And here we are in our fourth round of our first group of matchups, our round of 8, and we have two people that are both from Europe. So I'm so happy to see this, and let's talk a little bit about pargeterw. I noticed on the right side of his screen, he's got a bunch of custom icons. He actually wrote his own macro to do PDM. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is amazing. It's awesome.
And he also says that he uses SolidWorks for pretty much anything, even if it's a terrible tool for the job. And he is better at free running than you might expect. So
I like seeing people when they're modeling their house or they're running electrical to make sure something's going to clear, even if the SolidWorks isn't the right tool, I'm still going to use it.
Yeah, just do it. If you're making if you're designing what the table's going to look like at Thanksgiving dinner, who's going to sit where, do it in SolidWorks.
Yeah.
Right. And GERBEN says he was forced to get CSWA for a new school. So that sounds like a good school to me. If they're forcing everybody to learn SolidWorks, that's my kind of school. And was a finalist for Euroskills CAD 2020. I haven't had a chance to look that up yet, but I think I definitely should have before I went live today. And Gerben is a proud owner of Ender 3 Pro. Go ahead.
Maybe we should proofread the rest of these fax boxes before we get that.
Listen, man, I just read stuff, right? If it comes in on Super Chat, or if it comes in here on this PowerPoint, I'm just reading it.
Yep.
All right, well, with that, let's get into it. Both of our competitors are letting me know that they are ready. So let's flip over here. This is what the part looks like that they're going to make, and I'm going to give you guys the all clear in 3, 2, 1, go. So both of our competitors right away. Man, look at how fast Gerben was able to go from new to being in sketch. I mean, Parge is no slouch. Like, he's right there as well, but it just was, it's clearly, you can tell that Gerben is looking at the print and kind of coming up with a game plan, right?
Yep, this is a complex little part. It almost looks like a little Lego connector or something.
Yeah.
There's several complex features here. You have some sort of countersink. You have a slot cutting through there, so there's going to be multiple steps here. This isn't one of the parts, I think, where one sketch or two sketches is going to do it for you.
Right. Yeah, because we're coming at it from different angles. You have to have different. But it's I think what I'm seeing here, at least what I'm interpreting, is that Gerben looks like he looked at the print and was like, okay, I'm going to build this feature, then I'm going to build this feature, then I'm going to build this feature, and now we can kind of see that manifesting itself.
Right.
And I love the way Parge is approaching this one too, from kind of taking a shot at this from a different direction, where he's going to start out by doing the revolve.
Sort of revolve.
Yeah, that kind of has the counter bore in it, right? All kind of included in that one sketch. So I just love both approaches here. I love seeing people trying to come up with a solution from different angles.
Well, pretty amazing. That's all I got.
That was great. That was really good.
Yeah, I'm sure you got chills. That was good. Okay, but the revolve is done. So that's like, the revolve is one of those things. It's tough to visualize until it's on screen of how that's going to play out.
Right.
But, okay, so yeah, two different approaches here. Look how many extrusions are there in Gerben's tree compared to Parge, right? Like very.
Yeah,
talking about efficiency or number of features, at least.
A lot of features there.
Yeah.
Yep. That's my kind of model, to be honest. That's the Toby Schnarr's Ron Burgundy school of CAD modeling thought.
That's the Toby Schnarr's approved model.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's going for mass, Toby.
Wow.
That was fast.
That was like less than a minute, it felt like.
Yeah.
It's just, it comes through so fast. Sam Falmwalny says, "Go Gerben, let's go," in the chat. I love
record.
It.
Richie Moore says, a record in the making.
Yes. What's up, Richie? How you doing? And Gerben comes in with his answer here, which was 723 grams. Parge right behind him with 749. Congratulations to both of our competitors. Gerben, that is the correct answer. So very nicely done. Congratulations to everyone. But that is going to give Gerben the lock on this match. So congratulations. Let's throw up victory cat there for Gerben as well.
Wow.
Awesome job, crushing it. And thank you so much for showing all of us a little bit of Inventor. Like I said, a lot of people out there maybe haven't seen that workflow. Yeah. And it is cool how it's, regardless of what CAD system you're using, it's all about, decide on a plan for the model. Somebody shows you a 2D print. It's all about kind of figuring out, what that 2D print is going to look like and what your game plan is going to be. So I'm going to flip back to our cameras. Let me just stop our competitors from sharing here. So I'm going to flip back to our cameras. If you guys could, please give Gerben a GG. And, of course, give Parge a GG as well. Parge is it's unbelievable the amount of skill that he has. I've seen him so often and talk about a SolidWorks champion. I would give Parge honorary SolidWorks champion because I see him all the time in the SolidWorks Discord helping people out. Somebody comes into the Discord and they're like, I have this problem with student, I have this problem with SolidWorks, and Parge will jump in and be like, hey, you want me to screen share with you? You want me to get on audio with you? You want to send me the file? I'll help build it for you. Want me to write a macro for you? He even wrote a macro for our competitors for tonight to help auto size the screen. Like, this guy can just do it all. So
awesome.
Huge GG, and my hat's off to you, Parge. Great game. Thanks so much for joining us in this tournament. And then, of course, on the other side, we got Gerben coming through with the win, with the sweep, the clean sweep. awesome job, Gerben. Congratulations to you as well. And congratulations to all of our competitors from our first round of 8. That puts us about an hour and a half into the tournament, and this is what our bracket is looking like here. So I can't believe we just blasted through 90 minutes together, Dan.
I know, man.
Pretty darn epic. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to take a real quick intermission before we get into our semifinals. I need to reset up some of the boards here. So if you guys need to go get a cup of coffee, get a quick bio break, this would be a great time to do it. Otherwise, feel free to hang out in the chat. Remember, I am asking people to try to guess what is in this box. I have no idea how I'm tracking the answers, but if you guys tag my name, it'll make it a little bit easier for me to figure out what is it, what's in this box that got randomly shipped to my house. Maybe we're going to find it out together. So Pargeterw in the chat says, took a gamble with the revolve. It did not pay off. But he still has a smiley face. I'm glad. That's like the kind of comment that you might see with a sad face, but I'm glad that he's got a smiley face.
Yeah, it's cool to see two different approaches. Very, very. Gerben can truly say, if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much now. So that was pretty
Love
awesome.
that. If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. That is so true. That's words to live by right there.
You might have to go find that hat if the
Yes.
if we move forward here.
I think it's going to be maybe we'll do that on the second intermission. All right. So we're going to take a quick intermission here, about a 7-minute intermission. So I'm going to flip over. I'm going to mute my mic, and I will be back in about 7 minutes. Guys, enjoy one another. Enjoy the chat. Hang out, and I'll see you guys in just a few minutes.
I am good, man. How are you? I'm just putting that in the chat here that this whole first section, right, part of the bracket was so intense, like so much story, so much backstory, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
And my microphone was off that whole time, so it's back on now.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to say to everyone, just a reminder to everyone to, if you're on social media, be sure to get out there. Let everyone know that we are doing this tournament today. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of excitement. And that pretty much moves us into our semifinals. So what a bracket so far, right? We had Ed and Rodrigo team matched up perfectly, and Rodrigo was able to lock down the win, and now he is going to go against the current reigning Model Mania World Champion Tim Z. So I just want to make sure that these two guys are both ready to go, that they are both on deck, ready to go for this next matchup. But I'm excited to see what comes of this Tim Z versus Rodrigo matchup. United States versus Portugal. Who do you think is going to win, Dan?
I don't know, man. Rodrigo was really cruising in the first round, but Tim, we know how strong Cam is, right? I'll just say that Cam is such a strong competitor, and Tim did really well. So
yes, that's a good.
I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over here to the full screen print here. This one is called 0513 Spool. And I'm going to have our competitors take a look at this print and try to come up with a good strategy for this print. You know, take a screen capture of this. I'll give you just a moment to do that and make sure that I personally have everything ready for the next matchup here, because this is where things get pretty darn intense. So let me just make sure that, like I said, that I have everything that I need here. And here we go. So on the left, we're going to have Rodrigo. And on the right, we're going to have current Model Mania World Champion, Tim Z. That's what you guys can expect to see here in just a moment. And we're going to be trying to build this part here. It's called Spool. We've already learned a lot about our competitors. We'll take a look at some more information on the competitors in just a moment. But I think for this time around, they're both letting me know that they're ready. I mean, they're kind of chomping at the bit, Dan, ready to try this part out. Once again, one of these parts that doesn't have too much symmetry, a little bit of symmetry in this part, but not too much. So what do you think, Dan? I think our competitors are ready to go. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready, man.
All right, well, let me flip over to our competitors' side-by-side screen. Victory Cat is ready to go as well, as always. We love when the Victory Cat shows up.
Thank you, Victory Cat.
Victory Cat gets a little shout-out as well. All right, guys, so here we go. We're going to let these guys take a shot at this part in 3, 2, 1, go. The semifinals are now live. Here we can see our two competitors that won their qualifiers to get into this. And my golly, this is going to be intense.
Yep. Tim's a little faster into the template and actually has a little bit more sketch geometry on screen already. That was a cool feature in the sketch. So it created all three lines for him.
Yeah, I really like that.
He's deleting a couple of these parallels here. Wow, this is a cool approach from Tim.
It's very interesting to see this.
Yeah, it's very interesting because there is some taper right to those faces.
Exactly.
And I do like these parts you choose for this, Toby, because there's always like that one or two features that, if just that wasn't there, this part would be so easy.
Right. But exactly. How are you going to get through those kinds of challenges?
Yep. And it's not even the same angle either. It's like, yeah, there's angle and they're different angles.
And there's something else going on too. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna let you do a little bit of carry the commentary for me for just a minute, if you don't mind. I'm gonna just get some stuff ready here for our.
I think what the audience can already assume here is that they're both going for a revolve. They're choosing to revolve that first main shape, but this is the reoccurring theme. Tim is choosing to put more in that first sketch, to put more in that first feature to see if he can get some of that to revolve. I want to see how that pays off, because that's going to be, I'd just say I would expect a lot of extra mass here, right? If you're spinning that whole sketch, there's going to be some extra mass. So how's that going to play out?
Exactly.
Okay, so Rodrigo has the revolve on screen, the very first feature here, and now he's starting to tackle those faces with the differing taper on them. And this is probably, like, for me, looking at this, that's probably more what I would do. But I'm not current Model Mania champion, so I'm gonna err on the side of I'm not sure here, because this really could pay off for Tim in the long run if he's able to do this quickly. But there's a lot of mass there. There's a lot of sketch.
Right.
There's a lot of shape in that contour. I'm interested to see how that plays out. But meanwhile, Rodrigo is close. Rodrigo's really close. He's got the initial revolve. He's working on this exterior shape here. What's that width there? What's that dimension? Okay, and this is where, oh man, you already cut that hole, right? We've probably all been there. You've already cut that middle hole out, and you got to go back and recut some mass or recut something that kind of faded into that
if
hole.
Something else ends up in there. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, and Eric Beatty in the chat is using my classic line of every commentator. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out for him.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. So I missed it. I was watching Rodrigo. What did Tim do with the rest of that sketch? Did he trim off those extra lines? Are they still there? Did he turn into construction? What did he do?
I'm seeing almost like a full recreation here of that one feature. Let's see what he ends up doing with it. Yeah.
Okay, so now they have both ended up around the same place, right? Tim spent a lot more time sketching, but did kind of revert, went back to that revolve, and now they're both pretty much in the same spot here. This is coming down to the wire, Toby.
I like how Pargeterw in the chat says, revolves don't pay.
They got him.
They
got him today, didn't they?
A little bitter there.
He said, guys, listen to me, okay? Revolves do not pay.
Yeah.
But with a part like this, what are you going to do? You almost have to. I mean, you could do this with wash extrudes, but this is tough, Toby. This is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, you can get the sketch fully defined, but then it's also about, like, what are you going to do with it then?
Yep, Rodrigo's going right to the extrude.
Love the contour selection usage. Always a good strategy, in my opinion.
Wow, what did he just do there? Okay, he's just cut. Yeah, okay, so he's just cutting off the outside contours.
Okay, yep, I like that.
Yeah, but that was what he needed to do. He needed to get,
wow.
Yep, there we
Look
go.
Look at that part.
We're close, man.
What a strategy.
We're close. Rodrigo coming in.
So Rodrigo comes in with an answer. His answer is 15,627 grams, and that is the correct answer.
Wow.
So Rodrigo locks up the win for that one.
Yep.
Nicely done, Rodrigo. Wow. GG. The match is, of course, not over yet, but holy smokes, what a matchup. These guys were neck and neck, and that was kind of a tricky little part that we had there, too.
It was. Right? Yeah, I'd love to chat with Tim later about that, and I missed it because I looked away, but Eric's kind of confirming in the chat he dumped those lines. I think Tim backed out of some of those additional lines in that initial feature. Maybe our friends in the chat can confirm here, but yeah, that was crazy, man. That was cool.
And Tim, always the consummate professional, says, Rodrigo, GG.
Yeah, so, that was awesome.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah, and Tim says, yeah, I thought about this wrong. That's tough.
Man, you only have a few seconds to look at the print ahead of time, so it's tough to figure out what exactly you're going to do with it. So very nice job to both of our competitors. We're going to learn a little bit more about our competitors in just a moment. But for now, let's move on to the next round here. This one is called 3DP House. So we'll see how these guys handle this one. This was one that just kind of came out of my brain. So here's what the full screen looks like, everybody. What's up, Victor Santos in the chat? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Manuel, thanks for tuning in. GG Rodrigo, yes. Rodrigo crushing it.
Yep. Great comeback from behind.
Yes. Reading the chat here while these guys are grabbing a screen capture of this. Hopefully I gave them enough time to look over the print and to grab a screen capture. And on that note, let's learn a little bit more about our competitors. So as we know, Tim does very large machine design, but he also loves flying drones. So that's kind of something I think he has in common with at least one of our other competitors, Smitty, possibly some other people too. If you guys haven't seen Smitty FPV, check out his YouTube channel, Rue FPV as well. Amazing stuff. Be sure to check out both those channels. What's up, Josh Mays? Thanks for tuning in today. I feel like I have a little bit more room to breathe and read the chat now that we're through the through that first round of 8.
Through the first round.
All
it's
right.
pretty crazy, man. It's tough, right? You see a Model Mania champion, and again, going back to the first round, Cam is such a talented SolidWorks user, and Tim cruised through that first round, right? But coming right up to this, like you make one bad sketch decision or a little bit too much in the first sketch, and it can cost you just a few seconds even.
And that's and that's the thing. I mean, these guys are competing at such a high level. That's all it took. Like,
yep.
Tim was right behind him. Rodrigo was behind. Tim was behind. It was back and forth, and just epic. All right, guys. Well, here we go. I think we're ready for this next one. I'm getting the heads up from our competitors that they are good to go. So this model that we're going to be looking at this time is actually a little bit different here. It is this, and with that, these guys both are telling me they're ready to go. So let's do this in 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go. They're both off to the races. Rodrigo using that dark theme. I love it. Tim Z using his PAR overlay. Loving that as well. Loving seeing the different user interfaces.
PAR system.
Man, Rodrigo just, boom, off to the races here. Creating this model.
Yep, creating a model. Is this your house, Toby?
So this is my house, actually. Decided to model it up in SolidWorks and share it with everybody.
Awesome.
I mean, this is just one of those things that, as always, a lot of these models, I feel like they look, it's pretty obvious what you're supposed to do in the beginning, not so obvious what you're supposed to do in the end. So I'm going to see kind of how these guys get into this end game now, phase 2, if you will.
In that first sketch, Tim chose to select the contours instead of making it perfect. Instead of wasting time or spending time trimming lines, he just did select contours.
Yes.
And got that done a little bit quicker.
Yep. But now here we are in phase 2, and this is where it's going to get interesting. How are we going to handle the appropriate angles that are on this roof? Right? This is something that we've all been in. If you ever, if you wanted to 3D print a house, this is called 3DP house. I'm going to 3D print a house. Okay, what's the roof going to look like? It's going to look like this picture that I found. Kind of like what we see on screen here. All right, how are you going to do it?
Toby, if Tim is about to do what I think he's about to do, this could get crazy. We'll see.
I can't wait. Can't wait to see what you think he's going to do, and I can't wait to see what he does.
So he created a sketch or created a new point on the end of there. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm just on the edge of my seat right now because I want to see. Rodrigo's got to get around that turn. Rodrigo's got to basically repeat what he did on the other side.
I love that you use equal to get those both at the same angle.
Yes. Okay. So here we go. They're both basically at the same spot.
Right.
It's cool to see that too when they start a little bit differently, but they basically get to the same feature around the same time. He's gonna sketch a triangle. Tim's sketching a triangle. Draft.
Yeah, I love 3067. Did you just read his comment? His Zoolander comment there?
What is this? A house for ants?
House for ants? Huge shout out to Live Laugh Love in the chat. What's up, Live Laugh Love? That's a great motto for life and one that I try to live by as well.
It is.
And look at super celebrity Vicky Chong in the chat. Giving 3167 an LOL.
Hey, Vicky.
Hey, Vicky.
Hey, Vicky, it's Dan from tech support.
How's it going? Whoa, Derive Sketch. That's a pro move. If you're going to use Derive Sketch in a speed modeling tournament, you must really know what your options are.
Use Derive Sketches. Oh, Toby, I don't know, man.
This is they both have like the angles in both directions. It's so close right now.
Yep.
Shout out to Table 36 in the chat, as always, giving us lots of wonderful commentary.
And that was a long bio break. What'd I miss? Okay, so Tim's just chopping off that extra bit of roof there.
Yep. Rodrigo's now got this corner. Anytime anybody has tried to model a roof in SolidWorks, you've run into this thing that Rodrigo's run into here. Where you're like, wait, what the heck am I supposed to do with this area?
I got such a big question for you when this is done, Toby.
Okay.
I'm looking at this thinking,
he used delete face. He used delete face.
I looked at Tim's screen for a second.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so Tim is in.
I'm just trying to see Tim's number there. Tim, that number is incorrect. It's close, but it's incorrect.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, you're gonna have to double check some of your numbers there, because that number, Tim dropped in the number 3.57. Wow, Rodrigo dropped in 3.57 as well. They're both coming up with the same answer. I almost feel like I just have to call it. I think that's what I'm gonna do here. It's so close to my number. They're coming up with the same answer. Guys, I'm gonna flip over to cameras here. I gotta make an audible on this one. Actually, I'm not gonna flip over to cameras. I'm just gonna make an audible. That one's gonna go to Tim. So 3.57, Tim Z. I'm gonna give it to you. You guys both came up with the same answer. You guys both were going at it with the same strategy, using the same dimensions. Same answer, 3.57. Gonna give that one to Tim Z. Making an audible here as the administrator of this tournament.
Okay.
Congratulations to Tim Z. We're going to go back and we're going to look at that one in the future together and see if we can come up with that same answer as well. I'm making a note here. It's a little unprecedented.
When
3.64 is the correct answer. Yeah, Tim Z revised it and that's the answer that I got too, 3.64.
Okay.
So I'm making an audible though either way. You guys both came up with the same answer. We're modeling it the same way. Hate to deviate from the standard rules here, but I already called it.
When Tim started sketching on that top face, I thought he was doing a sweep. I thought he was going to sweep that roof profile around.
Rodrigo coming in with 3.64 as well. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Had the draft angle wrong. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we're going to go to round 3. I mean, that's all there is to it. So congratulations to Tim Z for securing that win. Nicely done. Congratulations. Everybody give Tim Z a GG in the chat. Very nicely done. Apologize for a bit of confusion on that one. I was surprised they both came up with the exact same answer, you know? Man, that was close.
Yeah, and when I was freaking out, I thought Tim was going to sweep the roof profile around the corner, and then all he had to do was chop those two end faces down. Like put draft on the two end faces.
Well, given the opportunity, I'm with you and with Eric. I'm going to try to sweep it if I can.
Crazy, man. That was pretty intense.
Oh man. Okay, guys. I did not realize this was the next model. Wait, that. No, hold on a second. It's not that one. I'm wrong. Oh man. Okay. Here we go. Next model here. Good luck, you guys, on this next one. This one is called 1500 blocks. Here we go. Take a look at this guy. Grab a screen capture. Think about how you're going to model it. let me know as soon as you have the screen capture so that I can let the audience know that you are ready to go. All right, and our competitors are letting me know that they are indeed ready to go. So I think we are just about ready to switch over. Tim Z, you good to go here? Tim Z is good to go. All right, guys, here we go.
Good luck, fellas.
3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, fellas. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Dan. I really like this one. It reminds me of this game, Qbert. You ever play that game, Dan?
No,
Got him.
I have not.
Good
Is
game.
it good?
Yeah, good game. This is one of these prints that, like, it doesn't have very much dimensions in it, but you just got to figure it out. How are you going to do this?
Yeah, I don't even know what I'd do here, man. I would. Whew, maybe I see 4 extrudes. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just giving away some answers, huh?
I don't know.
For
I
free.
mean, yeah, 4.
Wow.
Is that really specific? I mean, that could be anything.
Yeah.
I like the model though. The rendering on the screen here. That looks good.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, make it 5 extrudes. Okay. Whatever.
It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see what people exactly come up with how to do this. I think if pargeterw was in here, he would probably be able to write up a macro that would do a pattern. He would probably be able to draw like one line.
If then block, no block,
and then he would just code the rest of it.
Equals block.
Which I think would just be awesome. Will Nicole knows about Qbert. Yes, it is very much from the Qbert in my brain.
Is it Will Nicole or Will Nickel?
Will Nickel. Oh my gosh, look at Rodrigo. I love this strategy so much. Holy smokes. I was totally not expecting that, and I love it. Do you see this?
I do. I didn't want to say anything, Toby.
Okay.
But I do see it.
I see it. Let's just let him go. Ivan Lowen says, just pattern 20 cubes. Yeah, done.
A?
Oh, wow.
After Ivan put A in the chat, I'm just going to use that all day. We're going to remember A for Ivan.
Holy smokes. This one is close.
And we got to remember Dutch for GERBEN. These are in my notes for today.
I love it.
I can't believe that, dude. Like, you look at this on screen, you think, man, that's going to be tough. But here we got 2 mass screens up. Tim Z coming in.
Tim Z coming in. 5.8. Tim, I saw it in your mass properties there. 5.84. Tim Z does come in with the correct answer. Basically, like a half a second before Rodrigo. So congratulations to Tim Z, who is going to barely edge out Rodrigo in one of the most controversial matches we have seen. That was so close. And Rodrigo, you were right behind him that whole time. I loved your use of contour selection. Love all the participation from Rodrigo in the community. So congratulations to Rodrigo. Thank you so much for playing. But Tim Z is going to lock up that win, and he is going to move forward. Rodrigo says he was actually first in his chat.
Wow.
So he's yeah, I mean, it's insane how close you guys were. I would love to see like an exhibition match just between the two of you at some point in the future, because this was definitely the closest matchups that we have seen. So congratulations to Tim Z on moving forward. Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for being an outstanding competitor. You're going head-to-head against one of the fastest in the world, the current Model Mania world champion. You're keeping him on his toes. You are amazing. And so thank you so much, Rodrigo. And thank you, of course, for all your participation in the chat over the past year. Congratulations, of course, to Tim Z as well for locking up that victory, for moving on, for getting the victory cat to show up. It's a good game to both of our competitors. If you guys could please give a good game to both Tim Z and to Rodrigo. I know that they will appreciate it. And let me flip back over to our webcams here, Dan. Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for playing. Thank you so much, Tim Z, for playing. Congratulations to both of you. and that will allow Tim Z to move on. Man, good game to everyone.
It's interesting too, even Rodrigo saying that his chat would be different. And is that a delay in YouTube? Is it some difference in connection or something? But yeah, with a finish that close, man, that's crazy. That's
Go awesome. Either way. I think, you know what I think we're going to need to do, Dan? I think we're going to need to do a live TooTallToby tournament. I think you and me are going to need to travel to Europe.
Oh.
And just do it live.
Oh yeah, we'll just do it live.
Yeah, cool. I think it's the only way.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry. I know I may seem a little flabbergasted, but it's just such a close matchup. That first match, you guys both getting the answer so close. The second match, you know, it's just I got nothing.
Pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, congratulations and thank you guys for that epic matchup. My goodness, it was like so close. All right, well, I think that is going to move us into our next semifinal battle between Ivan the Reasonable and our friend Gerben. So these guys are coming from all over the world. Ivan is coming at us from Canada. Gerben is coming at us from the Netherlands. Gerben is a proud owner of an Ender 3 Pro 3D printer. Ivan says he does not own a 3D printer. Doesn't even need one. Right?
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and Sky Captain says he would go to the live in-person tournament. So thanks so much, Sky Captain, for the years of support as well. Whew, that was such a close match, man. I feel like any little like tweaking, it could have gone either way. It could have easily gone to Rodrigo. And, you know, as a judge, as the founder of TooTallToby, I always want it just to be a clear decision. You know, I want it just to be clear cut and straight through. Yeah. And so...
I think the models too you've chosen for this tournament, at least so far, are bringing us to much closer finishes, like much more frequent photo finishes where things are pretty close. If I think about the last tournament, I feel like we had a lot more wrong answers, like at least a few more.
It's true. We had some tricky models. If you guys want to see more, you know, if you're in the chat and you're like, I wish these models were more challenging. If you want to see some, you know, more challenging, especially more tricky models, go back and take a look at the tournament from December because, man, that tournament was nuts as far as it was nuts. So as far as like the trickiness and like you said, Dan, getting wrong answers, we had a number of spots where people were getting the wrong answers and we had to put the clock on them. And, you know, it's just a slightly different vibe today, right?
Cam's throwing a good idea that we've kind of talked about before, Toby. We have some ideas there of how to run a live tournament at World.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's some cool stuff we could do there. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned
in Atlanta.
Yeah. I'm in. All right, guys. Well, here we are. Semifinals, part 2. Ivan the Reasonable versus Gerben. Let's take a look at our first print. This one's called Star Base. So let me flip over to full screen. You guys take a look at this print. Grab a screen capture. Let me know once you have that screen capture.
This is like a ninja star.
It's a ninja star, yeah. And Sam is in the chat once again saying, let's go, Gerben. So you got a big fan in Sam out there, Gerben. Chaos Engineer says, just showed up. How do join TLDR? Okay, there you go. Too long, didn't read.
I like that.
It says, I am a CAD god. Now you got to join us next season, Chaos. You can qualify for this tournament. You can participate live. Otherwise, you can always just practice right along with. So, okay, let's see here. Gerben is sharing his program, letting us know that he is ready. Let me just... Dan, can you talk to the audience just a little bit about our competitors and about this tournament?
Every time you keep saying Ivan the Reasonable, I want to say Gerben the Dutch. That's just my brain is trying to remember
I like that.
Where these. Yeah. I'm just trying to remember where these folks are from. Making some mnemonic devices, I think they call it.
I love it. Well,
it looks like Ivan's ready as well.
If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much.
You ain't Dutch, you ain't much. And fun fact, there's a whole history of Pennsylvania Dutch. That's why Toby and I say that. If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much.
Yes, indeed. Love it. Okay, and Ivan the Reasonable. I'm going to put Ivan on the right here. I'm going to put Gerben on the left so that you guys kind of know what to look for. Of course, you could always look for who's using SolidWorks, who's using Inventor, or who is
in this case, Ivan is using SolidWorks.
Yeah.
Gerben is not.
Okay, and let's make sure that I think the cat is off. We'll find out. Who's letting the cat out? Okay, and then let's make sure we got the correct part. All right, guys. I think you guys have had enough time to look at the print. Hopefully you have that up on your second screen and you're ready to go. So at this point, I'm going to flip over to our CAD versus CAD competitors here. And GERBEN, I can see that G is moving all around and Ivan is ready as well. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so as always, what do we got? Starting plane, starting profile. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Yeah, and
oh, boy. Nothing.
you okay?
Yeah, I just moved the...
No.
I moved Ivan's screen over a little by accident.
Yeah, so we see a difference here right out of the gate. They're taking different approaches, choosing a different first feature, obviously in different CAD systems, but still the same idea, right? Different first feature to get the same model.
Yep. So creating those bosses, creating, in this case, that center bore. Ivan doing it all on one feature, GERBEN doing it in 3 or 4 features, but both of them finishing almost at the exact same click.
Identical. Yep.
Yeah. So now we have this kind of star shape, this kind of flower shape. How are we going to handle this? Almost looks like a spade on a playing card.
And that is equal spacing around there. So theoretically, as a designer, you're thinking, hey, I can just model one of those. I just got to get one to look right. 8 equally spaced instances, huh?
Yep.
This thing looks sharp and dangerous too, Toby.
Well, that's how I roll, you know.
Oh.
I like it when things are sharp and dangerous.
Sure. That's my middle name.
That's my space.
Toby, sharp and dangerous.
Sharp and dangerous. That's where I like to be.
pargeterw is still in the chat. Revolve doesn't pay.
Letting people know what he's all about. I love it.
He's repeating me. GERBEN is not using SolidWorks. I'll just say that. I gotta say, I'm impressed with Inventor so far today. I don't have much Inventor experience myself, but you know, it's looking pretty quick.
This has always been kind of like my dream, my vision. You know, people would ask me, like when we were in tech support, a lot of times people would ask me like, which one's better, which is the best, you know? And it was always like, most of the time, it's not about the CAD system, it's about the, you know, it's mostly about the wizard, not the wand. You know, that was kind of my answer. And like, this is my chance to manifest that into a real world wizards battle.
Oh, here it is,
Wow,
Toby.
GERBEN.
Oh
Man.
my gosh, so crazy, and Ivan is not far behind. If Ivan can get that and get the material, oh my gosh.
So
who's it
GERBEN,
gonna be?
GERBEN came into my chat first, and I am seeing him with an answer of 3708 grams. Ivan coming in right behind him with a mass of 3708 grams. The correct answer is 3708 grams. So congratulations to GERBEN, locking up the win
finish
on that first model. Very nicely done. Whoo! Man, that was a close one.
And pargeterw, it was the revolve.
That's it. Yep. I think that was it. Yeah, I mean, GERBEN went in there. It was pretty sweet, like how they both went through making that first feature, you know, that first feature of that, you know, am I going to do it as a boss? Am I going to do it as a revolve? Whatever. And then they both just ended up at the exact same spot with the 65 millimeter with the 41 millimeter through that main center area. That was awesome. Ended up right at the same spot. All right, guys. Well, that's going to let us move on to the next challenge here of our competitors, our worldwide competitors. Semifinals round 2. Let's see what this next one is. This next one is going to be called Rod Support. Here you go, guys. Grab a screen capture of that. I apologize for the doubled TooTallToby logo that says, what is the mass of this part in grams?
This looks like a main bearing from like a big block V8 or something, Toby.
Yes. Yeah. That's what it is. It's a Hemi.
The Hemi.
Let's see what else we got. What's up, Milton? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Remember, if you're watching and you want to send a little message out to your friends, send it out on social media, let people know what we're doing here on this beautiful Saturday. GERBEN is letting me know he's ready. He is ready for this part. We're just waiting for the heads up from Ivan as well. Okay, and Ivan is letting us know that he is ready as well. So with that, let me flip over to our competitors. The part that they are going to build is going to be this rod support part. Here we go. And we're going to have our competitors take a shot at this in 3, 2, 1, go. So parts are getting a little bit more complicated as we get deeper into the tournament.
They are, and I was going to say, I don't think we'll see any revolves on this one.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Revolve's going to be like a dirty word for this competition anymore.
And Leah P is in the chat. What's up, Leah? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome, welcome. All right. And Mike's still hanging out with us from South Africa. Thanks, Mike, for sticking with us this whole broadcast. And
how could you not, man?
Good Frank Garlic Trader is here as well. Yeah, my goodness, GERBEN already, look, he's already got those first 2 features up. This is intense. I haven't seen speed like this since Clark Schaefer was competing.
Since the great Clark Schaefer days.
Yeah. This is akin to the great days of Clark Schaefer. The golden age of competitive 3D CAD modeling challenges.
Sam says the Dutch are here not to take part, but to take over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's go, Sam.
Those are some those are some words.
Man. GERBEN is so fast.
Yeah, GERBEN's cruising.
Ivan is crushing it as well, and I love his approach to this challenge.
I was going to say, if he can get this side locked down, that other half happens pretty quickly. But...
Right, exactly. Once you get those mirrors going, it's like, okay, here we go.
And you wonder, as an inventor user, what the shortcuts are, what things make you faster. We know what those are in SolidWorks, but
I think that, if I could speak so boldly, I'd be willing to bet that GERBEN would be pretty fast regardless of the CAD program. Just watching the way that you can see he's doing a lot of anticipating what feature is going to be next.
Sure.
It's almost like in his brain he's already drawing up the next feature while his hand is still clicking the current feature.
So that was interesting. As a user, I'm watching that. He started that as an extrude and it somehow turned into a cut. I didn't see how that happened.
Right. Yeah, I've been noticing. I don't know if that's just the preview in Inventor or if that's actually what's happening.
The command even says extrusion, like in the tree. It says extrusion.
Okay.
So maybe we could check into that.
It's kind of like what we see in the 3D experience programs too, right? Where you do an extrusion, it's just kind of considered extrusion, and then you decide what you want it to be. That's pretty cool.
Here he comes.
And Ivan getting those curved faces up on that one side. And GERBEN coming in with 237. That is a little off, GERBEN. It's not by much, but maybe you just want to go through and double check your features. I'm looking at it too. I'm wondering if maybe you're spot on the other models, and so I can't imagine that this is like a kernel issue. I think there's probably a feature in there that's off by a little bit. I confess you're so fast that I couldn't see what the feature might have been, but there's something in there that's
he just found something.
Not matching up with the print.
Ivan's cleaning up those edges there.
Yep. Man, this is opening the door, as we say, right?
It does. Oh boy.
Ivan's doing that final spin. We see all our competitors doing that. Final spin.
Little spin movement, but it's not all there. Yeah. I think he forgot the extra cut on the bottom needs to be part of the mirror.
Okay. He's just going for it with a mirror all here. This is going to be close.
Oh boy.
Wow. This is really neck and neck. They're both coming up with it. Let's see who can get it into the chat here.
See, I'll tell you who comes up for me. Well, you know what? You're the final answer, Toby.
Wow. That was like click, and I do see GERBEN as coming up first in the chat.
I do as well.
That was so close.
That was amazing.
It was like one mouse click separating the two of them. So I see GERBEN first in the chat, 232 grams. That is the correct answer. What an intense matchup. Man, GERBEN and Ivan, two of the fastest guys we have in the tournament, neck and neck that whole time. Holy smokes. If everybody could, please give a GG to GERBEN. Give a GG to Ivan the Reasonable. Ivan is an amazing supporter of the channel. He's been in every tournament. He's a SolidWorks champion. He's a users group leader. He's all about the user. So thank you, Ivan, for everything you do for the community. And of course, a victory cat to GERBEN. Congratulations, GERBEN. That was indeed epic. Well done. What a matchup. What a Toby, competition.
I know, dude. And I feel for Ivan here. I really do. He was right. He had the mirror. You said like he's doing that victory roll, like checking the model. He looks under and sees, oh no, one of the cuts didn't go with the mirror. So we had to back up and fix that, and that ends up being the deciding factor, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Such a great round, though, guys. Nice job.
Yeah, very nice job to our competitors. Very, very well done. Awesome matchup to everybody. GG to everybody. Just give me a second, guys. I'm just gonna update the bracket here, and holy smokes, thank you guys so much for sticking with us, in the audience there in the chat. I really appreciate all the chat, all the positivity in the chat. And GERBEN, congratulations, making it to the finals. Our non-SolidWorks champion versus our SolidWorks champion, who's also currently the Model Mania World Champion. What a final this is going to be. So let me just flip over here to our bracket and make sure that I have everything ready for this next round. And thank you guys so much. Ivan, thank you so much for participating today. And GERBEN, stick around because you're going to be in the finals next. Guys, I'm just going to need to take a few minutes to update my screens here. So we are going to take a short break once again before we go into the finals. If you need to take a quick bio break again or anything. But man, what a semifinal battle there. That Rodrigo Tim Z battle was intense. That's
kind of what we've come to expect out of these tournaments, Toby, is things like that, where it's like you see the competition, you see everything come down to one feature or one different sketch or something. That was so cool, man. That was awesome.
It was so close. I mean, it's like you said, if that mirror Ivan did would have just caught that square hole in the bottom, it would have been a different outcome.
Yep.
It was just so close. So GG to both of our competitors.
GG.
Congratulations to everybody so far. And like I said, we're going to take a short break here as we get ready for our final match. And once we get to this final matchup, I mean, we're going to see some fireworks for sure. We got Tim Z, current Model Mania World Champion at SolidWorks World. We got GERBEN, who has just been smoking the competition, just tearing through these models so quickly. So this is so exciting to see these guys going head to head. And who knows, maybe this will roll into some kind of like a joint venture between me and the SolidWorks crew, and like my equivocal in the Inventor world and my equivocal in like
Toby,
the Creo world. And
there's no equivocal for you anywhere else. In any other world, anywhere. There's nothing.
I would love to have everyone like bring forward their champion, and we all meet, in like a mist-covered field with our laptops, and we're like, all right, come on, let's see. Let's find out who the best magician is. It's time for a wizard battle. But that's sort of what we're getting here, right? That's sort of what we're getting here next. So I'm so excited to see what's coming up next, guys. We're going to take a short break here, another short intermission, and then we will be back and we'll get some more. I'll try not to blast the music quite so loud this time for all those of you who have good speakers. Don't forget, guys, during the break, this is a great opportunity to reach out to anybody you know, get on social media, let people know what you're doing on this beautiful Saturday, and try and get them to join in as well. Talk to you guys in just a few minutes. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Flip over to Dan and I here on the webcams. Sorry, Dan, I think I caught you yawning there.
That's okay. I'm just exhausted from this first. that last round, really, that killed me.
That was intense. I mean, both of those matches, and I talked to my production crew a little bit about the match between Rodrigo and Tim Z, and I know that was there was a kind of like an on-the-fly decision that had to be made there. As a referee, you never want the decision to be like on the fence like that, where you kind of just have to make a call on the fly. But Rodrigo, I got much love for you, and I thought you did just amazing. So congratulations, and congratulations to both players, really, Rodrigo and Tim. That was such an intense matchup, and it could have easily gone either way. And so, I just like it last time when it was like one person clearly got the answer right away, and there was no controversy.
Yeah,
it's just like totally perfect. But so, Dan, what do you think about this box here? You got any other guesses? You guessed a tennis racket. I'll tell you, it's not a tennis racket. I saw that Ivan had guessed that it is I think he said like a steel frame or something, some kind of a steel framed thing. It's not that either.
Skateboard deck?
It might be a skateboard deck. You know me too well, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, you nailed it. It is indeed a skateboard deck. So
wow.
Nice job, Dan.
Okay, I guess that part of the show's done.
So you win the prize. We'll take this down.
Wait, you got to open it.
It is indeed a skateboard deck. Should I open it? What if I cut myself on the live stream?
Nah, you're fine.
All right. Going into the drawer.
Wow. Just for the record, listeners, I did not think I was right. So
you knew what the size was. You knew the size was correct.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, Toby, that's awesome.
Yep. It's a VX board. As you know, Dan, I've put on quite a bit of weight since I was 16 years old skateboarding. So this is
I think you look great.
Oh, thank you. This has got it's got Quad X technology in it, which I think is essentially like a carbon fiber that is on the inside of it to make it a little bit stronger and even a little bit thinner, which I don't really care about, but I just wanted a board that's strong. There's videos of cars running over these boards and they don't break.
Okay.
So
are you gonna put grip tape on it?
Oh yeah, I already got the grip tape.
Oh, nice.
And grip it up and everything. Yeah, I'm excited. But that's a story for another day.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to take the mystery away from everybody in the chat here.
Listen, man, you nailed it. You know me. That's how well you know me. You knew what it was going to be. So that's the end of that segment of the show. Guys, I'm super excited about the finals here. Here we go. TooTallToby's 3D CAD Speedrunning Tournament 2021 Summer Edition. We're at the finals here. What a matchup. We started out with Ed and Rodrigo going against each other. Rodrigo securing the win there, moving on to the semifinals. We saw Tim and Cam going against one another. Cam, our previous winner of this very tournament, super fast, but Tim was able to edge him out. And then we saw probably the most controversial matchup to date, really, between Tim Z and Rodrigo. So close every step of the way, and Rodrigo unfortunately got edged out by Tim Z. Congratulations to Tim Z in that matchup. We move over to the other side of the bracket where Ivan and Smitty continue their grudge match. Ivan sneaking out another win against Smitty. So congratulations to Ivan moving on there, and Pargeterw and GERBEN going against each other, and GERBEN really bringing the heat in this tournament, just going through and decimating every model that we've thrown at him. So we'll see if that run continues. Once again against Ivan, same thing. GERBEN against Ivan. GERBEN just so fast on all these models, although there was that one that was just so close that we just saw. Yep. And that brings us into the finals, GERBEN versus Tim Z. I don't think we could have asked for a better matchup.
I was going to say, I think in terms of drama and build up and getting to see like a current a current champion, right? Like the pinnacle of SolidWorks usage.
Right.
Against who's obviously a very quick Autodesk user. So, yes. I mean, that's awesome, man. This is really cool.
This is going to be epic. So I'm super excited to see this showdown. Let's get into it here. So Tim Z versus GERBEN, United States versus the Netherlands. If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. Let's see if that holds true today. Our first matchup here is going to be one called Tri-Hook. This was actually one that I had built for an earlier portion of the tournament, but I just really like this model, so I wanted to share it with these guys and give these guys a chance to try this one. Looks easy. We'll see how they handle this one. You guys go ahead and grab a screen capture of this. what is the mass of this part in 0.xxx pounds. Grab a screen capture of this and then let me know once you've got the screen capture, once you are ready. And while they're letting me know that they're ready, I'm going to make sure that I'm ready. Dan, you want to talk to the audience at all about anything?
I do, and you said this is tri-hook, right? I'm just looking.
Yep, this one is 0507 tri-hook.
Okay. So I'm excited for this. I mean, again, for me, seeing somebody using Inventor, again, something I'm not really that familiar with, it's really cool, and it's a learning experience, I think, for a lot of us, like seeing a super fast SolidWorks user against someone who's obviously kind of equally fast here in Inventor.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Well, let's get into it then, okay? This, like I said, this looks like it might be a simple model, but we're going to find out in just a moment. So I'm going to flip over to the CAD versus CAD screen. We're going to clear out our current wins. And here we go. The finals of the TooTallToby May 2021 3D CAD tournament. These guys are going to get started on this model in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's do this.
So this was I thought this was kind of an interesting model. It reminded me a little bit, when you look at it from the top, it reminded me a little bit of a character from Zelda. I think this is really just going to be a kind of a grudge match of sketching, really more than anything else. And that's what I'm interested in seeing, is how these guys approach this. So we're gonna see. I mean, there's certainly other approaches you could use. You could use, patterns, feature patterns, so many options available in 3D CAD. But let's see what these guys come up with. We got Tim Z on the right here. We got GERBEN on the left. Both starting.
I was gonna say both starting very similarly. We'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was gonna say. Kind of stop myself.
Yeah, it's very similar, because I think you could do a couple different things. And if it's me, if it's someone looking at these external hooks, right? These hooks that you have coming out of this.
Mm-hmm.
What do? Do you try and sketch it? Do you make circles and trim it up?
Right.
Do you do it and then put a cut and then cut the material afterwards?
Or bridge the material afterwards?
Or bridge it, right?
Like that's always what jumps out at me, is I'm like, I'm just going to, I'll float them out there in space and bridge them afterwards. But there's just so many ways you could do it.
And it's another one of those examples where it's like, I just have to get one perfect. And these guys, man, Toby, different approaches, but they're not that far off each other here.
Yes, indeed. This is just one of these models where, if you can, I think what we're seeing a lot from our competitors is if you can just kind of visualize, like it's almost like you're able to visualize what the feature tree is going to look like before you get started, and then just stick to that plan. Man, like it's almost like you've already drawn it in your head, right? And I think that's what we're seeing a lot with a lot of our competitors, and certainly with GERBEN. As I've been watching him go through these things, it's like you can kind of tell like he knows where he's going. He knows what the next feature is going to be.
Yep.
So we do have an answer here from GERBEN, and his answer came in at 0.608, and that is the correct answer, GERBEN. So nicely done, locking up another win here. Very nicely done. Like I said, this was one of these models that I personally, I didn't think it was really that hard, but it just it just kind of throws your brain into a little bit of a drop cycle.
Shout out to both these guys. They both, if we look at even Tim's screen, he's got that square. They both did that. They put a square on top and cut off the hooks with a square.
Right.
All at once, because if you notice, they are kind of squared up, but very cool, man. That was a cool approach. Man, nicely done, guys. Nicely done. I know that was a shorty to get started here in our match of 3, but one that I really wanted to see how you guys would approach that. I'm glad that it didn't really throw you for a loop at all. It's nothing for these pros. I should have known that they were going to be able to get around that one, no problem. So let's see if we can give them one this time that has a little bit more complexity to it. So I'm going to jump back to our full screen here. We're going to move on to our next matchup between these titans. This one is going to be called T2 2020 Body Shelf, and for the first time making a debut. Oh yeah, and by the way, everybody, give Tim Z a GG, give GERBEN a GG. Congratulations to both of those titans, just crushing it today, crushing through the competition. So now we're going to take a look at our next and possibly final matchup, right? Tim is up for elimination potentially. This one is called T2-20
body shelf. And for the first time, what we can see here on this print is that we're actually utilizing multiple materials here. So you've got your shelves running up the side, nice and flush with the side of those legs. You've got your shelves being made out of ABS. You've got your legs being made out of 1060 aluminum. That is the same density that we've been using for ABS and 1060 aluminum the entire year, the entire competition, the entire qualifiers and tournament. But that is the material that we're going to be looking to use. And it looks like both of our competitors are already giving me the heads up. They're both ready to go here. So
wow. I remember in the last tournament, this similar file, not this file, but something like this, giving Cam a run for his money.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to say it was a ladder. Was that a ladder, maybe?
I just want to point out one thing to you guys, to the competitors. If you guys look at the print, and you look at the front view and the right side view, I mean, this is meant to be a shelf, and so the legs for this shelf, they go all the way down and then sit flush on the floor. So it's not that clear on the print. I do apologize, but if you imagine that the shelf was standing on a floor, the legs would be flush. They wouldn't be like angled. You wouldn't just have like the tip of the leg on the floor. The whole bottom face of the leg is flush to the floor. So just keep that in mind as you're going through and building this model. Again, not very clear in the drawing, but that was what I was intending, as if it was sitting on the floor, just like a shelf.
Just like a shelf.
All right, so both of our competitors are ready to go. The model that they're going to be trying to build here is going to be this multi-body or assembly. You could do it as an assembly. Lots of different ways you could do it, right? Here we go. Possibly the final match of the tournament here, Dan.
We'll see. I mean, the ship hasn't sailed yet.
Yeah, I'm not counting Tim out. No ways.
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1, go. So here they go. All right.
So this is, I think, our first part of the day where we're really seeing more of a multi-body approach, or at least very separate pieces of the model.
For sure. Multi-body, multi-material. And
again, I remember in your last tournament, a part like this giving the competitors a run for their money.
Yes. And I remember, I think it was 3167 and Cam who were doing it in the finals.
Too,
yeah, and they both ended up using the wrong units at one point. And
yep, exactly.
It was just crazy. So this is gonna be very interesting. I'm very interested to see how these guys handle this. I'm interested to see how GERBEN handles this as far as using a different CAD system than what I've seen before. It looks like, to start with, Tim Z is taking a very solid approach, kind of modeling up one of those legs. I like that approach a lot. It looks like GERBEN is going with a different approach, kind of almost like modeling out the envelope of what this thing is going to look like. You guys can see in the exploded view of the print that the corners of those plastic shelves are, they're notched to fit into those aluminum legs. So
I don't even know what just happened on GERBEN's screen, but suddenly he has 4 shelves.
It's almost like a combine, or what was that? Yeah, like a Boolean almost.
Very cool.
Yes, very cool indeed.
And Tim is working off getting 1 leg, and now obviously ending up with 4, which is pretty awesome.
Wow. And again, I'm not exactly sure what happened there on GERBEN's screen, but he's got the notches.
Oh, they're just there now.
They were just there. I looked at Tim's screen for a second because we were talking about it.
He's just willed the notches into existence.
Yeah.
Smitty's noting in the chat here, GERBEN is so fast it looks like a macro is running it.
Yeah. It's like he's got, yeah. It really is true.
Okay, so he started is this a new part, Toby?
It looks like it.
Okay, yeah, he's in a new part.
Going for a new part. This was a strategy that I think 3167 used in the last tournament as well. He said, you know what? I'll just make them as 2 separate parts and either, and work from there. Decide how I'm going to work from there. So, man, these guys are good. Yeah, I completely agree, Ivan. And Tim Z working through the approach in the more of like the multi-body environment, which I love as well. Definitely a solid strategy there, with the ability to assign different materials to the bodies.
Yep. And that's the complex part about those shelves, right? They're not just straight extrusions.
Vito in the chat says, I had to stop doing the Saturday live contest. Too much stress. Yeah, imagine how much pressure these guys are under.
I know.
So it looks like maybe we're getting into an assembly environment here, or...
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see what ends up happening here.
Yeah. So I'm seeing the word assembly. I'm going to assume that means word assembly here.
Yeah. It's all going by so fast.
And that's what's tough. So Tim is patterning the shelf. And for me, understanding what the constraints are on that shelf, are they straight faces? Is there taper on those outside faces?
Oh yeah, it's flush to the legs. So Tim will have to clean that up in a future feature.
Gerben the Dutch. He's got the assembly together.
And we see here in the chat, Gerben has submitted an answer of 28483 grams for the win. Let's go.
Oh,
wow, Gerben. So congratulations. You get Victory Cat. You get we'll throw 3167 up there as well with the Victory Cat. We're just going to give it all to you here. Man, awesome job, Gerben. GG. If everybody wants to give Gerben GG in the chat, that is amazing. Very nicely done. Man, that was quite the demonstration there. The clinic, really, of speed modeling in 3D CAD.
Yeah. And two very different approaches, right? Tim taking the multi-body, single part environment, Gerben doing an assembly, which is so similar, Toby, to what we saw last time a multi-body part came up.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about like what you think you need to do to get that answer there. Get that answer there in the least amount of time, right? That's what it's all about. And we've talked about this before, but it's not just about winning these contests. It's about sometimes you do find yourself in these spots. But man, well done. GG to everybody who competed.
Guys, nice job,
what an amazing tournament. And of course, thank you all so much in the chat for tuning in. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over to you and me on camera here, Dan, and GG to Gerben for that win. Man, oh man, oh man. Congratulations to all of our competitors. What an amazing bracket. What a wonderful way to start the weekend. What a fun Saturday morning here. And of course, a big part of that is all of you out there in the chat. We really love that too. But congratulations to our champion, Gerben from the Netherlands. If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. It's so true. I wish I could have found that hat during the break. I couldn't find it. If anybody on my production crew is out there listening and you can find that hat for me and bring that hat into me, I would love to represent that hat here today. But great job. If you guys want to give a GG to Gerben in the chat, I'm sure that he would love that. And a GG really to everybody who competed today. Nice job to everyone. Man, what a run there, Gerben. This whole type of competition, everything that we're doing here, what I like about this competition is that it really is all about getting the answer correct. It's not just about like making the model as quickly as possible, because a lot of times you can't shortcut some of these things that we're showing here. You have to get the math correct. But it also, in the real world, you end up in these scenarios where somebody really needs you to get something to them, whether it's, maybe it's you personally, and if you can get the model done by tonight, that means you can put it on the 3D printer tonight. That means it's going to be ready for tomorrow morning to do some testing. If it's you working in a shop with some people, this is a spot that I've been in a lot, and you can just get them the part by today at end of day, that might move the delivery time up an entire weekend. You might get like 3 more days added, or subtracted from the delivery time just because of how fast you were able to get that model, get that change done. So these are indeed valuable skills, not just arbitrary skills. And these are definitely things that I hope that you are learning a lot from, and that you're able to kind of take away from this tournament. Dan, what else? What are your thoughts here at the end as we wind down here?
My thoughts are every tournament you have, there's always some twist and there's always some level of drama. And if you try to explain that to someone outside of the space, like you would not believe the drama in our CAD modeling tournament. They'd be like, what? Like, well, you're crazy. But so much, Toby. I mean, I remember last tournament, we had things like crashes and people losing internet connection. Today, this tournament was more about just pure speed. It was faster models. And we had so many photo finishes. It was more about just who can get a sketch on the screen faster and get it done.
Yeah.
Very different.
Well, very well said. It was indeed today pretty darn intense, and a lot of just like straight speed on this one. Not so many tricky models, not like last time. If you guys want to see some of the tricky models, go back. Take a look at the models that we did in the December tournament. A lot of those had a lot more like little nuances, a lot more trick to it. But it's a speed run tournament, right? So let's get back to the speed, and I think we saw a lot of that today, especially from our champion, GERBEN. Man, you're just like, I can't imagine your mouse is not currently on fire, like actually on fire. The way you're moving around the screen so fast.
On the same day as the Kentucky Derby, man, this was all about speed. Today was who can get there faster. And I think we've seen differences in previous tournaments. Like you may have gotten there faster, but it was wrong, or different units, or your SolidWorks crashed because I think too, when you think about these competitors, Toby, part of their responsibility is to have SolidWorks or whatever CAD system set up so it's not going to crash. Like, is your system good? Is your graphics card driver right? Like, do you have other programs running? Should you just close those and be ready? And all of those things factor into this. Yeah,
that's such a good point. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And like, there's so many little things too that factor in here. And as we get closer and closer and tighter with these finish times, we're just gonna have to figure out, better ways to make sure that everyone's getting a fair shake. Like if you live further away from me, like what can we do about that? And I think that really the only way we're gonna really do that is if we're just up on stage together, right? Yeah. We gotta just all be together in person, doing this in person. Go to an outdoor auditorium, like whatever we gotta do. We gotta just do it in person on a local area network, so there's no lag.
I think this also speaks to the service and the knowledge that you are delivering to this community, because it's obvious you've seen some of these competitors, they're all better and they're all faster since you started this. So I think that there's something to be said for that too, is these folks are getting faster and actually, because this is different than Model Mania. It's different than modeling at work. There's other factors to take into account here. The chat being one of them, like dealing with Google Chat. It's just so cool, man.
Yeah, man. This has been a lot of fun. Well, thank you for the shout out. And yeah, I think you're absolutely right. These guys are all getting better. Every week, every time they're doing these competitions, they're getting better. So I'm excited to see what the future holds. But for now, I think that's probably a good place for us to sign off. I want to once again say thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. I want to say thank you to all of our competitors. A huge congratulations to our champion, GERBEN. You definitely earned it today, and you were against some really tight competition. And congratulations to everybody who was part of the competition. I'm going to leave the final goodbye screen up for a few minutes if anybody wants to stick around and hang out and chat. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for us today. I just want to remind you to subscribe, share this video with other people, let people know what we're doing over here. It's a lot of fun hanging out over here with all this great crew. I want to say thank you so much to my co-commentator, Dan. You were amazing today, Dan. You crushed it as always, so thank you.
It's an honor to be part of this, man. And once again, I think the community, I know there's a huge chunk of SolidWorks users out there that owe their knowledge and their love of SolidWorks to you. So I want to recognize that as well.
Well, thank you. Really, to the whole community. I mean, it's a great community. The SolidWorks community is so good. Everybody helps each other out. And a huge thank you to everyone who has done that before. Anybody who's ever helped somebody out with some SolidWorks challenges, you're awesome. You got a special place in my heart for sure. So thank you all so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody.